partnership as well,
Yeah.
where we had the early matches being played. And together with me, we have Turbo, who is making his appearance in Lithuania for the first time.
Yeah, great to be here. Thank you so much for that nice introduction, SRK. I'm Lucas Turbo, professional caster and content creator for Alternate Attacks. And today we have 3 more matches in the Trackmania event where 800 euro of cash prize up for grabs and also other value like monitors and chairs.
Yes, from our lovely sponsors from Dell, we also have a couple of monitors for the prize pool as well. Additionally, outside of the cash prize, we also have additional chairs as well from Secret Lab. And of course, our main partner, Cup Noodles, as well, helping provide us with this, making this event happen for Trackmania as well, with a lovely booth as well in the corner. We can also get some samples if you're around the venue as well.
So we had some great matches yesterday, and also I think the pick'ems did not go that well for the one or another player, but I think you're not able to do them anymore because I think
They should be locked in, yeah.
Yeah, I think they should be locked in, but we have a great match coming up now. We have the winner bracket final. I'm looking forward to that because I've also not seen Elcon playing in any of those matches thus far.
Yeah, so basically to kind of give a rundown on how did we ended up here, so approximately around like a month or so, we had the online qualifiers where there were 8 players managing, well, had a chance to qualify to the event right here. We also had 8 invited players, some of the best players from the Baltic Trackmania League. That included some players from Lithuania and Latvia, as well some invited players who are going to be soon playing also in Montpellier in the World Championship, approximately also in a month. So it's going to be quite diverse skill sets. I remember we spoke with the organizer. He asked, what are the chances of a Lithuanian making it to the finals event? I originally said 1, maybe.
Yeah.
And in the end, we added it with 2. And it's both of them are not in lowers, they are in uppers. Some of the top players are even eliminated from the tournament. And honestly, I did not expect that the upper bracket match we're going to see now is Elcon, the player from Into the Breach. We're going to have Bits, the veteran, who has been playing for more than 15 years competitively, and Auris, who also a Lithuanian player playing from Honori, French team, and also made his run into the upper. He actually had this bit, shout-outs to one guy, redemption arc.
Oh, you're really saying it that early already? Oh, no, no. But then last but not least, we also have Key from Poland, who's also in this match. And to give a quick introduction to that match as well, the 2 winners will qualify to the grand final, and the bottom 2 players will play against the Dutch players Stufts and Spam, who came all the way from the loser bracket and also still have a chance to make it to the grand final.
Yeah, so we have also 6 players left to play on stage. We have 3 matches being played, upper final, lower final, and then the grand final, or the match for the prizes at the very end. For some people, this is the first time playing on stage as well, so it's a definitely new environment for some players. One thing I want to mention is the Key player, who usually don't really see that often in Trackmania. And nowadays, he got a massive run into the brackets from the online qualifiers. And we'll have to see how it will go for him in the end.
Yeah, I think so as well. And also first LAN experience. I think that's something quite unique. And that's always an aspect that you have to consider. Like how well can you cope the pressure to play in front of a real-life audience? You know, it's something different to just play in front of your known setup. And now you're just on stage. So that will also come into play. As we're going to start very soon with a match. And what is your prediction? What would you say? Who's going to go into the grand final in this match?
Okay, so for example, to give an insight, for this event we had pick'ems, where also the winner of the pick'ems will get a small prize from our partners as well. Let's just say for some of them, day 1 pick'ems were a bit mudded, and I believe only 4 people out of it was like 0.4% of people even gave the chance for bits that he will make even today. And yeah, pick'ems are all over the place, but I did my prediction. I actually went for the wildcard pick. Everyone put like Elcon first, but I went with Key, Elcon second. But that's like for the final. And both Lithuanians then into the final.
Okay, so I mean, that would be great to see them making to the final in their home country. But there was one person with 110 points after the first day of the pick'ems, so he has already gotten himself a lot of points. And looking good that he will do it. I think we are top 12, but we both have 55 points in the pick'ems. But there was also one person. I don't want to call out the one guy, but he said Spam is getting last.
Well, Spam is now going to be playing on stage, not in this match, but in the next one, the lower final, currently waiting for the match to start. And I'll be on our way with the upper final. Honestly, it's going to be pretty interesting. I have seen a lot of people doing the last moment practice today as well, just getting their warm-ups in. Yeah, Auris choked like a 0.15 improvement over the current world record as well on some of the maps. So basically to talk how the match will be played, so it's going to be a 1v1v1 match. The players will basically kind of, you can say, a bit of a life bar in a sense. where all the players will starting with 120 points. There are 5 dedicated maps made for this event. And it's going to be in a random shuffled rotation where players will do 4 rounds on each of the maps. There's going to be points distribution done based off the players on their positions in each round. So if you win a round, you don't lose any points. And the worse your position, the more points you lose. Even if you get a DNF, then it's even minus 15.
Yeah, minus 15. And then for the other positions, it's -4 for second, -7 for third, and -10 for last position. And also if 2 players DNF, they both get -15. We have seen some hilarious rounds yesterday, but we're going to jump into that later in a bit. But also, I think it was 2 DNFs on stream, because there's a finish time of 15 seconds where you have to cross the finish line in. And else, if you don't make it, you will lose 15 points.
Shout out to the pool incident.
Yeah, oh, that was so fun. Maybe you guys have seen that yesterday, but it is reverse cup mode. And also for the point that you're starting with, or the points that you're starting with is 120, and for the grand final it will be 150 points. And then, of course, you also play for that first position, which will be then very heated up, I would say.
Yeah, so we're cruising already. There's a small pick phase where players are able to select the map order of their preference based off their performance, either in the seeding and the rest of the bracket that was played at the booth. We actually, in this tournament, we had the 16 locked slots that came from the online plus invitations, and we only had 6 Baltic players that managed the level, so the level here is very, very high. To give an insight, some of the players who are playing here will be playing in the World Championships, which has the top 8 teams in Montpellier. Some of them did not even make main stage. For example, Wizzy.
Wizzy Tab 1?
Yeah, Wizzy as well. Evan did not make it, who previously used to play for teams like Team Secret as well in the past.
But
played in Grand League. Elcon did got a run into the bracket from uppers, and that's why it was such a big surprise that Bits and Auris, who are the 2 Lithuanian players who are still left in this tournament, got through the uppers, not the lowers, which is kind of a bit crazy, honestly, to think about.
I mean, you can also see, look at how focused Auris is. That is the stare that he gives you if you play against him. He's so focused, and he really wants to get it. And I think that's also a bit of a different motivation for the Lithuanians to just play in front of their home crowd and just try to make it. And I've just seen them just doing very good times, and also Bits, I think, has a very strong mental, and I think that's what could also help him in this match, because there was one match that we watched yesterday where it was Bits falling quite far behind, but then he was able to come back and eventually got himself into that winner bracket position.
Yeah, so right now, it's basically, within the Baltics, we have the Baltic Trackmania League with the top division called the Elite with the 16 best players, and also basically a lot of open events, and most of the time you don't really see Baltic players taking part in the international events. So since there's an international event happening right here, a lot of especially Lithuanians, really want to defend their home turf.
Yeah.
And so far, we're definitely seeing that. Usually, a lot of people remember, like in years ago, when Bits was even in TMGL, which was the league for the 16 best players at the time. He did drop out. A lot of people writing him up. Even in Baltic League this year, he had a very unsuccessful season where he was still holding on the elite spot, but he was around like 10 to 12th and never even made like the top 8 playoffs. But this time, got to run through the upper bracket, eliminated Spam and Evan as well in the semifinals to get the spot in the upper final today. Yeah,
that is true. And also, maybe a fun fact for Bits as well, he's 10th right now in the campaign ranking from the points. And we see only one player who is in there in the top 6 who's not in there. It is Zyron. So shout out to him, young and talented player. And I think we're going to see more from him definitely next year. But we have Auris on first, having 1 world record, Key on second with 2 world records. Maybe that has changed because players were practicing a lot. Then Elcon on third, Spam on fourth, and then Stufts on fifth. Also putting in a lot of effort. So that kind of gives you a guideline, but also on the other hand, you just see Bits is able to perform under pressure and knows how to just knock out his opponents, because that's what you have to do. It's not about being first, it's about not being last.
Yeah, and last year we also had the Trackmania tournament, and the only player who was left in this bracket we have today was Bits, who was 4th place. Actually, we had an invitation. One of the invited players was also Forever from Poland, also into the breach. And let's just say like that, it was not the best event for him, where he got eliminated around like 9 to 12th in the position-wise. And looks like we're finally going to be on our way with the match here today. The upper bracket final between Elcon from Into the Breach, Auris from Honorary, and Lithuania. Bits, also one of the most veteran players within the game with a lot of competitive experience, trying to make his comeback into the event as well. And Key, one of the, let's say, not so known players, especially in the modern era, but used to have a lot of experience in the past as well.
Yeah, he played a lot of tech competitions back then, team tech competitions with his team, so that's where I'm knowing him from. But we're going to start here very soon. Actually, the match starts now. So let's see who's going to make it into the grand final. Format as follows. We've already explained the reverse cup mode, but there will be one small warm-up before every, or like after every map swap. and we're gonna start off with this first map here, and then after that there will be 4 live rounds.
So the first map we're going to be playing in this match is called Moment, made by Keysla. It's a bit of an RPG, so there's a lot of platformy stuff within the maps, and there's a lot of places where players can do clip or risk on the side. So since these are basically the best players, they're going to be pushing for the best space. We'll try to also check the checkpoint to see what's the status of the round and adapt their lines and playstyle based off of the situations, what is happening. So right now we're in a bit of a warm-up, so basically players just have a bit of time to get used to the map. And in approximately 20 seconds, we're going to be on our way with the first round.
Yeah, so Moment for me, that's the hardest map. You have 2 very important drifts where you have to hold your speed. Elcon cleared that section very nicely, but also to give you a perspective, the world record on this map is at 59.10 from Elcon. You can see the fastest time that's set in the tournament is also from Elcon. It's a .19, so very close gaps there. And also Stufts, like when I just watched his stream or his POV, he also did a .2 of of course practice. And let's go into the first round and see who will have the best outcome out of that. So there you go, Elcon off to a great start. No one with a mistake here thus far. We also see the 2 Lithuanian players still in the mix. Key with a good start as well. It is always going for rather inside approach, but still gets around that corner very nicely and accumulates a lot of speed.
Yeah, so far we have seen a lot of clips happening, especially in early days in the tournament. But so far everyone is quite close. That both 2 non-endemic players are currently in the lead, but this is the most decisive part of the track. The more momentum you get, the more it snowballs. A very risky low jump from Bits and Key, trying to force the low jump. Did not get the slide cancel at the very end. Elcon and Ours are the 2 ones who managed to survive through it. As mentioned, they're gonna push for the pace as well. For some players, it's gonna be another first time playing on stage, so a bit of a shakiness to their playstyle as well. It looks like so far Elcon will have the best opportunity to close out the round, but it all comes down to the flip at the end, as there's going to be a very good setup for Elcon. Very nice low jump as well. 50. Okay, yeah, that's a very good start. Otis as well doing a .6 at the start of the match. I'll say this, that usually in the early rounds of the event, 15 rounds would be very easy round wins, but let's just say like that, pretty strong competition here as well. To give it an insight, .4 is literally only like 2 people can do it on this map.
Yeah, and Elcon already looked very strong during the online qualifier. He was very strong there, and he has beaten Bits time already by 1/1500ths of a second, the time that he has set during the tournament. But let's go into the next round, round number 2 out of 4, and see what the players can do. Of course, we see now Elcon not losing any points. Bits losing the most amount of points due to his last position, but now Elcon does not really find himself here with a great start. But of course, this drift is really decisive. You want to maximize the speed outcome, but also on the other hand, not drift. Always going for the left side approach. Elcon kind of gets away with it by not catching too much airtime, but it is Key, Oris, and Bits ahead of him. Bits with a great line. You need to be quite wide here to clear that speed check, and everyone in the top 3 makes it, but Bits is so far ahead. Elcon also try to overtake Oris and Bits, but they are so far ahead. The Lithuanians looking really strong in this round. Oris going maybe a bit too wide there, so Elcon moves all the way from 4th to 2nd position. What a great round from Elcon that was, even though he has made a mistake, and it is Oris behind, but I do think Bits will take it. Oris with a great line though comes closer, and this could be 1st and 2nd for Lithuania, and yes, that is the case, and also a great time from Bits. You know when I said that it was Elcon beating that time? It was Bits taking it back. Yeah, that was a very good start for Bits, especially considering that will be, despite he got the -10 in his previous round, this time he didn't manage to avoid the points loss, so we're going to be jumping into the next round. Elcon definitely showed the signs of shakiness, especially this time at the booth that we had. Let's just say like that, Elcon was very solid in terms of consistency with managing his space throughout all of the maps that were tossed at the pool. But we'll have to see how now it will go for the next round, as now Bits having a very nice first and last place so far in this match, definitely starts to showcase him as one of the contenders. Yeah, Bits looking strong. Also Elcon not with the best amount of speed, so he will drop down again. He has made a mistake in those previous rounds as well, and Oris is so far ahead, so I think this could be a great time yet again here. We have seen good winning times thus far. Bits jumping so far to the right, and he is out on this round. So it is Oris in the lead, Elcon on 2nd position right now, but the gaps are quite far apart here because Key is on 3rd position right now, and he is 0.3 behind Elcon. That's the closest fight that we are seeing right now, but I think Oris is on a very good time. But let's follow Key here for the ending, because mistakes, we have seen them quite often. He yesterday also spammed missing the safe approach because there's a hole there if you just want to jump straight. But look at that time here, another great time, 0.67 from Oris. Elcon takes -4, Key with -7, and Bits is able to finish, but gets
10.
Yeah, Oris as well, starting to step up a bit. I believe almost every single player has gotten a round win so far in the match. But yeah, now, Bits again, another -10. Despite he got 1 round win, 2 round losses, it's going to be -20 points. There's a bit of a help power left, but now we have Key, who was looking as the most promising player in this event, is now the first one to enter the double digits.
Yeah, but maybe a little bit of lore, and that was also a bit advantageous for us. He had food poisoning, and that's why he came late today, and he didn't already have that much preparation. So this could also influence his performance, as he's right now sitting on last with 96 points left, but gets a good start. Bits, who had a okay race so far, will make a mistake, and yeah, that's the first jinx, right? Will probably get that last position at -10 yet again after winning a round, but then taking 3 consecutive round losses, or 3 round losses in this one. But also it is Aurus with a good line there. Key has made a small mistake, and it is Elcon right now still on that first position. I think he's also on another good time, so if you do not go below 1 minute, you will not be able to win that round. And Aurus is attacking. Elcon not with the best approach. What can Aurus do here? Very good approach. Only 1200 is tearing those players apart. And Aurus can maybe snipe him in the end, but Elcon has a good approach, and he also had good flips, but Aurus comes so close, but it's not enough. 700ths of a second, and look at those times. A .49 from Elcon, and Aurus just 700ths away from that. Key takes 3rd position, and Bits, I think, is not able to finish, so he will get -15 points. 2, 1. No, he's not able to finish, and there you can see it. He gets -15 points all the way down to last place.
Yeah, that was the third -15 of the tournament we have gotten so far. Definitely, probably a lot of pressure came into this situation. He did get to at least a round win, but that's still -35 points in just one map, which is already basically, well, yeah, almost one of the worst outcomes that can happen there. But we'll have to see. Starting next map, we have currently Elcon leading with 109 points, still left in the match. Aurus is very, very close, 108. Key is at 89 and Bits is at 85. So the way how the match will be played out, we're going to be playing till there's 2 eliminations from this match. So basically, as soon as the players will run out of points, they'll be put in the last chance status. If they're going to be last with the last chance, then they're going to be eliminated and will be sent to the lower bracket.
Yeah, where they will play against Stufts and Spam, the 2012 world champion. Spam and then Stufts, who has just qualified for the Trackmania World Championship
this year.
LAN event this year. So just 1 week ago, and now he decided, okay, I'm going to attend another LAN event, and got himself already that top 6 position locked in. So great performance. His teammate Wizzy went out in the round beforehand, where we also had a great match between Evon, Wizzy, Stufts and Spam.
Yeah, so this map is, as Spam himself said, it's like a very difficult track of the day map. There's a lot of outside dirts that people are going to try to risk to basically close out the skid marks as close as they can to handle as much momentum as possible on the dirt surface. Early on, the same thing will apply. They'll just try to maintain the skid marks as close as possible, especially on the so-called slidey surfaces.
Yeah.
So basically grass, dirt. And on the first part, where they're going to try to go for a low jump, try to land with the back wheel so it's faster. It gives a tiny bit more momentum, but since the rounds are so close at such a level, it can snowball very easily.
Yeah, and what definitely snowballs is a mistake at the start. We see the first mistake already happening. Aurus, Bits, and Elcon are ahead of Key, who's again falling behind. And look at that, we have a great fight. Bits not with the best line here. It is Elcon going quite far outside, but there is so much. Like, you can push this map so much, but if you push too much, you will just land in the wall. But look at that, it's a 3-way fight for that first position. Bits in the lead right now. Elcon with a very good approach there, finding himself in that battle for the lead. It's so close between them. Aurus also not too far behind. He can maybe stab it in the ending. It's very, very close. Elcon in the lead. And look at that, only 700s between 1st and 3rd place, and Elcon taking another win. Only 11 points has been deducted from his 120 starting points.
Yeah, very good race between the 3 players, but now Key is now starting to fall down the list a bit, as he's now the first one to go under 80. And that -10 definitely kind of probably, let's just say like that's at this level, you basically, if you make a mistake and you have to really push for it, even if you do a small release that will cancel out the momentum and you lose approximately 0.3, and all that will basically start to snowball. No one getting an over rotation on the slide jump. We have seen 2 line approaches, so yeah, Elcon and Aurus Bits going for the outside line. It's tiny bit faster, just a tiny bit. And Key was going for the full inside. Full inside is way safer. This part we usually see some air times. All players manage to maintain the grip in this part. Elcon going for the full outside dirt line. Doesn't get the best exit though, so a bit loses momentum at some parts. Does still catch up because his entry on the second turn was way better. 2 Lithuanians, 1 and 2 so far, trying to avoid a big major points loss. Elcon is pushing. Bits pushed too much and is down.
In the meanwhile, Auris is leading. Elcon is trying to snack in very, very close. Pushes for the inside. Got the wiggle. It was not enough. Auris managed to secure the point, basically secure the round without getting a points loss. And now Bits is gonna get the minus then.
Key and Bits falling behind a lot here. Look at that. Auris and Elcon still above 100 points, and then it's almost 30 points of a gap between second and third. And you need top 2 in order to make it into the grand final. So that is quite important that Elcon and Auris just keep up that momentum and will try to knock down Bits and Key even further if they want to make it into the grand final. As we go into the next round, Key not with the best start here. Elcon again going for that outside and it just tries to maximize the speed outcome from that section. And look at that, he is in the lead by 300ths of a second. Auris and Bits are behind, but Key coming back with a great line. Elcon went super wide there and also will get a lot of airtime, as you can see, but that line is just so good. He again gets so much speed, but look at that fight for that first position. Yet again, it is Elcon leading. Bits and Auris are still behind, so no major mistake has happened so far. Everyone can still take it. Bits going a bit too conservative. They had to release. Key also coming closer. Elcon is long gone, but the question is who's getting second? But no, it is Elcon with a mistake, so Auris will win the round, and Bits will snipe Key in the ending. But only 3,000s between second and third, but very important round for Auris again, because he will go into the lead in this match.
Yeah, that's like this is what I said about this map. It's very easy to push, and as soon as you over-risk too much, you're gonna get the mistake and it immediately set you back on the field. The map is very, very straightforward in its structure, so all the top players, everyone basically knows how to come close to perfect on the map. Everyone risks for every single optimization, that's kind of things that they need. As soon as you mess up one thing, you're out.
Yeah.
So it's very, very needed thing that all the players are basically risking everywhere on every single sector on the track.
Yeah, and Elcon also was on a very good time actually. This was like a 0.6 or 0.7 from Elcon, and look at that, great start again. Auris plays a really good match so far. I hope he can keep it up. And Elcon again with a quite different line, has a bit more speed, coming closer to Auris in this long stretch here. But it is Bits and Key cannot really do some damage in this one, but Elcon not with the best amount of speed. Now the outside dirt corner, it is Elcon going super wide, tries to maximize the speed outcome, and look where Bits is coming from. Auris getting overtaken, but the question is who will be in first? Elcon in the lead. It is 200ths of a second, and Elcon will take it with a 0.79. High level in this event. Usually the time from Auris would be enough to win most of the rounds, but not in this winner bracket.
Even
final.
the time for Key as well, because that would be around the top 2 usually, but all players are starting to get into the groove of things. They're starting to get some proper rounds going. And I think everyone's starting to get the vibe of things, of how the match will be structured. It's like, all right, okay, I can't really say
I know how to handle that, you know? I know how to also push in some corners and overtake the one or another player. But also, we have seen some releases in this outside dirt turn, so maybe players are scared of touching the wall. Anyways, let's move on to the next map. And this one, Speed Tech is coming into play, a map from Big Star.
Yeah, so this is going to be one map. So it's going to be a full road map with some couple of plastic segments. So plastic as a surface is a bit more, how can I say it? Some people call it scuffed dirt, in a sense. So it has one of the, let's just say, I like the term slidey surfaces to use for grass, dirt, and plastic, because they are the surfaces that don't have full grip. Ice is like in a completely different world, basically. But on plastic, basically, the similar. They don't have full grip on road, of course. Well, obviously, they'll have the 100% grip. So basically, players will try to start off drifts on certain turns where they're going to try to get enough steering and try to press the brake button and try to get the drifts and the angle set up in a way through most of the turns so they get the most momentum out of it. Of course, pretty obvious. If you hold the brake longer, you're going to be slower. So everyone's trying to be as efficient as they can, at the same time trying to optimize the lines that they take throughout the map, and at the same time, since this is a high level, everyone's trying to be as efficient as they can, so some mistakes can pop out.
Yeah, and I mean, if you make a mistake in the adjustment, you get a good setup for the next turn, but there you go. So there you can also see the map preview, and let's jump into the first live round. As you can also there see our sponsors. So let's go. Bits did not get the best start, and also Auris is a bit further behind. Elcon going so wide there and tries to accumulate as much speed as possible. Key in the lead, and he needs to perform. He's already down to 55 points, so he needs to get some first or second positions. But Auris with a no slide is not, or get some skid marks there, and it's not going for a neo slide that you have to do if your car has skid marks, and you cannot save it like that. But it would be a huge round for Key, but Elcon is not too far behind. He's coming closer, 1200ths of a second, has good speed as well. The player from ITB looks strong to maybe get No point loss in this round here to his name, but it is key. So far ahead, Elcon going for the attack, but had to oversteer and will lose a lot of speed in exchange. So it is key finally redeeming himself with a 58.64, which is 0.2 away from the tournament record from Stufts.
Yeah, the times that we see on the tournament records are the fastest times that were done during the event itself. So those are the top times that were done. Currently, the tournament record is by Stufts, who is currently awaiting in the lower bracket, where he will be facing off the two players who will lose from this match. But the actual time attack based record is a 0.44, so from the periods, from the online times, a lot of players did play in offline, so offline means that basically that players don't reveal their lines, times, to kind of put pressure on the players or the rest of the participants of the event to kind of have this sense of unknowing, and usually there's a toss a bit of a curveball when the event starts.
Yeah, and maybe even find a line, a secret line. I mean, Elcon chose a different line on the map previously, but also it is key having the world or the online world record on this map with that 0.44 that SRK just mentioned, and he gets a really good start again, fighting it out with Elcon yet again, but also always here with a very good line, finding himself in that mix for that first position. He almost loses control there, but look at that, SRK. It is so close, 7,000s between the players, and we're gonna approach the last section. Elcon going for a more aggressive line. Key and always went for the SD and setting themselves up a bit wider for that drift, but it is Elcon with a great ending section, and he just maximizes the speed outcome, and look at that time, a 0.56. Always on second and Key on third, but Elcon just made that time in the end. That was a pixel perfect ending from the ITB player.
Yeah, in the middle end section, Elcon went for a technique called, what Turbo mentioned, SD, so that's a speeder. Basically, if the car is above 400 speed, if you keep the skid marks in a specific way and maintain them, the car will actually get an additional grip, and it will help accelerate the car a bit faster than it is with normal. Let's say you have to be very specific with the skid mark range based off your speed. And he managed to get the perfect setup between the skid mark range, and he got this linear acceleration to kind of give him that advantage in the parts.
Yeah, so let's go into the next round and see what will happen. Elcon finds himself in the lead yet again, and it is Key on second place. It is Bits, who has made a small mistake, is 0.5 behind, but he can definitely bounce back. But right now, it's his countryman, Oris, who's in that battle for that second place, and also overtakes Key. Goes very inside there, almost clips the inside, and that of course runs into danger that he will fly out of the map. But Key with a very aggressive line is really pushing it, coming closer to Elcon, but steering in a bit too late there. So Elcon is extending his lead to roughly 0.1 of a second, and he looks to lock in his points again, as it is always pushing so much, had to respawn, and it will be Elcon winning yet another round. He looks really strong. Look at that time as well, another 0.6, high level as well. And I mean, at this point, Oris and Bits, like Oris less than Bits. I think Oris should have just saved it in this round, because it was kind of unnecessary to go for the second place, and he should have rather taken -7 points.
Yeah, so Oris actually had to push this, what I said, that basically everyone knows how to become close to perfect on the map, so Oris had to push at the very end. He saw that he was on the top of the car, the number kind of detects which position they have in the round at a specific checkpoint, so he tried to push and got actually a very unfortunate bounce there, because it forced him out of the checkpoint, so he had to even do a double respawn. A double respawn means that basically if players do double tap the respawn button, they'll have a stationary respawn instead of the one that came with the angle that they had when they crossed the checkpoint.
Yeah, so you lose like 1 second for a normal respawn, and then you just have the same speed and the same angle compared to the run that you've had beforehand. But sometimes it can happen that you have a bad line and you have to do a double respawn, and then you start from zero. Bits with a mistake, and also Elcon pushing so much there compared to, like, similar to Key in that previous round. And again, it's both of them fighting it out here for that first place. Oris not too far behind either, so he can definitely overtake Key or Elcon if they make a mistake. Oris with the outside approach there, going for the speed drift, but it is Elcon again with such a great performance into the wall.
Yeah, he managed to pull an Oris there in that specific situation. So again, all the time we see 0.7 as the winning times, but actually with this will open, even Bits didn't manage to snack in on Elcon's mistake. And yeah, honestly, Bits having a really, really inconsistent match. Actually, his consistency at the booth was the main thing that kind of brought him to this top 6. But now it's completely 180. Because
he needs to act.
Yeah, actually he did like the 0.3 on the first map, but sadly, definitely the consistency is not there. He can do probably some peak pace, but now the pressure is starting to get a bit too high.
Yeah, this can happen, but we had this match from Bits as well, where he was falling behind, but then he just, on 2 maps, he looked unstoppable, and he was able to just find his way into the, I mean, he's in the winner bracket final, so there's nothing we can address more to that because he performed really well. And I think it was also this map where he did really good on. So Bits can maybe redeem himself on this one. A map from Arian, which is very old school. Entropy is it called, and also the world record here is from Keycam, or Key. I should call him Key, else he, you know, he will, he will not like me anymore.
Yeah, so basically this map is kind of like a slow tech-like map. So previous one we saw it was more speed tech, so now it's going to be a bit more slow tech. So it's basically a lot more similar technical drifts, but it's going to be at a bit slower pace, so it's more going to be about line efficiency and definitely trying to make sure that the momentum is clear sets. Same thing with the grass section as well, just trying to, it's going to be pretty simple, just players just trying to try to just drive through it.
Yeah, just be fast.
Yeah, important thing on this map though is the lander, current part where Elkan is, right, taking for the outside part, just before the final grass part. There is a gear. If the players do maintain the gear from that part and don't gear up, they actually get a bit more momentum for the very, very end. That will give a bit more speed, and that's going to be one of the more decisive parts of the map.
Yeah, and also the ending in general, that really snowballs because you go over penalty surface section, and if you overstay on that one and you have to readjust, you will run into a lot of dangers. So let's jump into the first round and see who can clear the best. Blitz could potentially be eliminated on this map already if he does not perform. Also, this minus 15 points did not really come into play for him, or just really put a dent into his motivation. And it just kind of went through the match where he did not really find himself with a lot of good rounds.
Yeah, but this time Blitz is leading, bit of an outside line. Definitely didn't get enough steering movement, but gets a decent exit speed at the very end. Ours doesn't have the best start. Bits as well didn't have the best start, completely clipped the corner and got pushed outside of the lines. Now both Slavic players from Poland and Czech Republic are currently in the 1 and 2, trying to reduce as many points as they can to pressure out the Lithuanians in the scoreboard.
Yeah, Key and Elkon in the lead. Elkon went for a more conservative slide. They're going super far to the right to minimize the steering angle on that section. Has a bit more speed, but Key is so far ahead, and he will take it. So Elkon also set the tournament record beforehand, but how did he get away with that? How did Elkon get away with that? He bounced from the scenery block into the ending, and look, he's just chilling there. Yeah, that's just another day at the office.
Just Elkon.
Yeah, you know, just Elkon things. My guy is incredible.
Yeah, but now Bits is now at 19 points. So basically, if Bits gets 2 more last places, he'll be put into the last chance mode. The last chance mode, if they're basically, only thing you can do is pressure other players, and if you get last, you are out. So if that happens, then Bits will be immediately sent to the lower bracket final against Spam and Stuft for the chance for the grand final afterwards. At the same time, the winners of this match will be immediately placed in the top 4.
Yeah, and already getting away with the cash prize, or like with one of the cash prizes, because only the top 4 is getting one chunk, or like one part of the money, which is 800 in the prize pool, and then also monetary value as well. And right now it's looking like Key and Elkon will make it into, make it a step closer towards the grand final, but it is still always ahead of Key right now in terms of points, but not in this round. Elkon with a very good line there, finding himself in the lead. Also good amount of speed. Key with that very, very wide approach there as well, but I think he had to readjust, so this Elkon extending his lead. I think he hit the checkpoint there a little bit. So Elkon will win the round. What is the time? Just a .58.
Yeah, just a .50. Yeah, just a .50. Yeah.
Very good time. So Elkon looks to be one of the favorites here after just seeing his performance. He only lost 40 points thus far.
Yeah, this is the gear that I talked about. Basically, if they're too fast going over the penalty grass on the last section, they actually want to oversteer too much, so that they're trying to do this oversteer movement basically to not get the gear 5, and gear 5 as soon so as soon as the car wants to change the gear, and if the skid marks are separated, it loses a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
So they're trying to keep it in a specific way so they don't even initiate the gear change in the first place. That's why they're doing this weird movement on the last part.
Yeah, so that's how he gets the most amount of speed. So you can also just say, just be fast, lol. This can also happen. But let's jump into the next round, because it is already one mistake, or one small mistake. It actually stacked up to a bigger mistake from Horus, who's 5 seconds behind. So Horus loses control in this match, even though he had a really good start. He was on par with Elkon, but now it is Key jumping his way back into the match, and it is Elkon and Bits fighting out for first right now. Elkon with a good line, very aggressive. Bits will have more speed, but I do not think it will be enough. Nope, and another good time from Elkon, also 0.7 is enough to win the round. Then Bits on second, Key on third, and Horus with -10 again. So Key and Aura still both falling majorly behind, but look at that, Bits already at 5 points. So only one more third or fourth position for him is required for him to be in last chance mode.
Yeah, basically he gets third or fourth in in the next round. He'll immediately put in last chance. With the last chance status, if he does get last place in any of the rounds, he'll be immediately sent to the lower bracket. He'll be out of this match. So the best thing he can do is just try to basically just win rounds. As if he's going to be staying in first places, he will just not lose any of the points, and the rest of the players will be dropping them. So right now, looks like that might not happen, as he had an early mistake sim with his compatriot from Lithuania, as both the Evo and Into the Breach players are currently in the 1 and 2 positions. He definitely with the best mid-section of the map. However, previously, on the last section, he did not actually got the upper gear, and due to that lost a bunch of momentum due to this gear change situation.
Yeah, and look at that, Key right now on a redemption arc, finding himself in the lead.
Shout out to the one guy.
Yeah, the one guy. Shout out to the one guy. One guy type 1 in chat. And look at that, Elcon coming closer. That's the line that you were talking about, coming significantly closer, but Key going for a wider approach. Elcon had to readjust, and Key will take -0 points. Elcon still manages his way into the ending. Auris on third, but look at that, Bits will be down to 0 points, and the last chance mode is activated.
Yeah, so now if Bits gets last, he'll be out of the match, and he'll be sent to the lowers. However, he can still actually clutch it out as long as he stays in the top 3 positions. He should be fine for a bit.
For a bit, good joke there.
This actually wasn't intended.
Yeah, surely.
It just happened.
Yeah, it just happens, yeah. Like, well, whatever. Let's jump to the next map. We have an ice slide on the next map. So what do you think of that ice slide here?
Okay, so basically this map will have one ice slide. So ice, compared to other slidey surfaces, it has a bit of physics all around it. And the way how this ice slide is structured in this map is that there's one kind of setup that players can enter it. So as soon as they do a release, it will start to mess around with the revs and the grip of the car, and they can potentially slide out. So at the end, you'll see some players trying to initiate one brake tap so they don't slow down too much. So at least they can go through the section, as it's very, very tight to do so. So they'll try to at least use the brake to at least just that one recorrection, but as soon as they do a release or release for too long, they will slide out and be out of that part of the segment. They'll have to redo it once again.
Yeah, or you just also can lose the gear, and you lose a lot of time with that during the end of the turn. So those are outcomes that can happen. The ice set is not that hard or easy to do. It's actually quite hard because the line is so tight and you have to predict it beforehand. But also the ending has provided us a lot of content yesterday, where one player bounced out of the map, and also...
It was Bits.
Yeah, it was Bits actually. And I think Evon then also made a mistake, and then Bits eventually went through, right?
Also shoutouts to the Evon and Spam incidents, where they crashed out, tried to take the short path, and turned out it actually was blocked.
Yeah, so they had to learn it the hard way, let's say.
And then they went into the hole that I realized it was hilarious yesterday. But yeah, we can find a clip on it as well somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. Probably on, like, if you just open the clips page on the Trackmania esports channel, you will find it there.
Find it, yeah, definitely there.
But yeah, right now it's for Bits tournaments for like upper bracket life, because he's not, or he cannot lose a single round, but goes for a very good line there, but will not have the best exit and touches the wall there. So Bits is out on this round, and I do think that this will be the GG for our first Lithuanian player in this match, but Oris is still in, and right now also on first position, but catching up more than 3 seconds from your own force is really hard. So I do think that Bits will accompany Spam and also Stufts in the loser bracket final already.
Yeah, but right now Auris didn't have the best couple of maps, so now Key was able to catch up. So if he does secure the first points, will put a bit more pressure on Key, as they were both equal. But now with this situation, Bits sadly will be the first loss of today. He will not be out of the event just yet. He'll be just sent to the lower bracket. He'll be played afterwards, but he will be out of this match. And since we have a dynamic game mode now, and since we also play until only one more elimination, now there's going to be a tiny bit the points repartition. So no longer getting first in the round will secure your points. You're now going to get a -2. So for second place in the round, you're going to get -4, and for last place, you're going to get -9.
Yeah, so it will be a little bit different, but I think Elcon will be the first player feeding the new -9 points to his name. So it's kind of a little bit of an advantage for him, because he's not getting -10, but still players can slide out on the ice. But also the first position will get -2 points here, as we have Auris and Key fighting it out. It's a direct fight, because Elcon is already long gone. He's more than double the points ahead. like compared to second
Auris
place.
played really smart. He really tried to save it.
Ooh,
And
but
both because he probably saw that Elkan was out of it.
Yeah.
And Key actually really tried to risk it. And he went for the riskiest approach. And this correction did not work out for him so well. Because from ice to road transition, you still have the icy tires. So if you have the skid marks overlapping, you can then cancel out and get the grip back. And he actually got unexpectedly a grip. And so that's why he flipped into the side. But so far, looks like Auris is going to get another first place in the round. Actually, quite much needed as he's starting to battle out with Key, as 2 players will be from this match moving on. So if it puts a bit more additional pressure to Key, Elkan had a very solid match so far, so he's a lot more safe space so far in this upper final.
Yeah, he still has 63 points, so that's a lot of points to work with. He can get last multiple times. 7 times if my math is correct. Yeah, it is correct. So that is like more than, that's almost 2 maps. And let's see what Key can do in this round. He has 20 points right now, as we also can see some cools from the crowds. That was actually the, also at XP, but we also had a lot of people doing the cool gestures. So for the crowd who does not know, that's an emote on Twitch, or like a 7TV emote, which is a plugin, which yeah, a lot of players and people in the Twitch community.
Good start from everyone else in the meanwhile. All players get through the ice slide and all of them survive. So we actually have a round here on this map. In the meanwhile, Elkan goes for a very unusual clip from his side, because he always is very consistent with this, usually even consistent with a lot of the hard stuff, but it looks like not this time. Now Auris and Key, the 2 players are currently in 2nd and 3rd, as one of them trying to put pressure on the other, on trying to not, or trying to get the other eliminated. Very close. Auris still at the beginning. Same lines. Auris maintains this with a minor advantage and holds on, only gets a -2 and starts to pressure Key a bit with -6. In the meanwhile, Elkan starts to get the big minus points losses, but he's still holding on into the lead. But now Key is only with -14, and with that, Auris has basically doubled the points gap from what he had just a couple of rounds ago.
Yeah, looking good for Auris here, bouncing back into the match. And also Elkan losing a lot of points, but Key is already at 14 points, so it's very hard for him to catch up. He needs to make a miracle run down here, and let's see how this goes in this round, as it is Key with a very good start, finding himself in the lead, and really wants to still survive in this upper bracket. But it is Elkan again with the slowest start, but gets a very good break tab in there, but did not have the best amount of speed. Auris losing the gear by the looks of it, and he has not to respawn, but loses a lot of speed. So does Elkan and Key fighting it out. And of course now the best friend from Auris is Elkan, because he can add some points towards, or like deduct some points from the 40 points from Key, and he's doing that right now. It's 0.7 between them, but Elkan with a small mistake there, had to readjust, gets a good entry into the dirt, but Key is in conversation for that first position again. And it looks like Elkan still holds on onto that first position. It's still only 0.1, so 1 slide out or 1 bump in the end can be enough. But Key is bumping because he was risking, and Elkan with a winning time of 1 minute 0.69. That is nice, but not too fast.
Yeah, that's very slow. That is quite slow.
Yeah.
Especially
Could you
compared to
beat
other
it?
matches.
Could you beat that time?
I think I have actually faster. I have a 59.9, I believe, when I did a event prep as well. So I definitely could beat that, that's for sure. But
nice.
yeah, in the meanwhile now, Key did manage to at least hold on some points, so he's now in the single digits. So if now like Key gets last place, he'll be put in the last chance mode. Now Auris, with his pretty nice performance in the last couple of rounds, now started to hold on a bunch of his points, despite even having that 1 mistake in the previous round. So there's a bit of breathing room for Auris and especially Elkan. And to secure the spot into the grand final afterwards. Would be very, very nice if we get a Lithuanian. Honestly, I didn't expect that we will can get a Lithuanian in the grand finals, but right now there's a really nice opportunity for them.
I do think so as well, and maybe we can even see 2 Lithuanians, because it is Bit still having a chance in this lower bracket final, where he will play against Spam and also Stups, and also Key, Auris or Elkan, whoever is not gonna get into first or second position. So we go to map number 1 again, to Moments, a map where Elkan was performing really well, and also Auris had a good good performance on this one. Key and also Bits have been falling behind a little bit on this map in the first rotation.
Yeah, I really hope that Bits will manage to get a bit of a step up for the next match, because hopefully now he can a bit warm up as well a bit for it, and should be maybe good for him to have this redemption a bit. Honestly, even for Auris, it's a very nice comeback, as basically his teammate Ziren from Honori was the one who's starting to really have this now overtake for Lithuania's best player. And Ziren sadly did not make... He was very, very close on making this match as well. He had a double last chance situation with Key, where Key actually did won the 1v1 at that point. And sadly, Auris did not manage to go through the uppers and then actually did get eliminated in one of the 9 to 12 matches at the booth yesterday as well.
He had a very unfortunate match there, Ziran, and still a good performance, but he could have also been in the lower bracket match.
It's a speech bubble right there.
Elcon interview, and what happened there? Yeah.
There had a speech bubble incident. He went too much to the left, and he clicked on the very
Oh,
side.
look at that! Was also a speech bubble moment.
Yeah, double speech bubble. But that's pretty good now for Auris, as he gets a pretty free -2 points. He's now being in the last due to hitting that checkpoint on the very side. And due to that, unless Elcon does a bit of something interesting, Key will be put in the last chance mode. But so a very free round now for Auris. He can literally just very safe it. Hopefully he does check the CPs to see what's happening in the round.
Sure, he's not
so
missing the ending.
Surely, right? Okay, he's fine.
Yeah,
he's fine. But what happens with the rest?
Good.
Okay, yeah, that was like really safe. And now with that, Key will get the -9, will be put in the last chance mode. So if Key does get, let's just say, takes the L in the next upcoming rounds, he will be sent to the lowers and will be done with this match. And with that, Elcon and Auris will be put into the grand finals.
So let's see how that goes for Key, as he went for more of an alternative line there, tried to maybe reach for the stars, but it did not work out because there was a ceiling. So let's jump into the next round. It could be the last round of this match if Key is not getting first or second position. And it is Elcon with a great start. Of course, now a mistake from either Elcon or Auris could really come into play. And Auris also did not get the best start as he finds himself a little bit further behind. But this time, very important to get as much speed as possible. Auris a little bit less speed, but still is able to clear that trajectory here very nicely. And also this speed check here can be very hard to nail, as I think.
Yeah, so we'll see. This is the most decisive parts of the map because the speed does snowball for the rest of it. Everyone gets it nicely. No weird speech bubble incidents this time. Both Elcon and Key trying to, especially Key, it's very important for him to not be last, to have still some saying in the match. So as soon as Key does get last position, we're going to be done for the upper final and he will be sent into lower bracket. Elcon leading, already starting to catch up, loses the gear. Have to also recorrect the line, but we have seen some incidents at the very end. Key clips. And with that, now Elcon makes it. Auris gets the overtake, and with that, Key will be sent to the lowers and will be done with the lower upper bracket final, with Elcon and Auris now moving on into the grand finals.
Yeah, so congratulations to Elcon and Auris. And we're also going to have a small interview now with the winner. Elcon, type 1? Elcon? So Elcon will join us in a second. But yeah, what a great match that was. That was the first match also for, on stage for the players today. And we still have 2 more matches coming up. The lower bracket final, where Spam and Stufts will play against the losers of this match, and then also the grand final afterwards.
Yeah, so we'll see how this will go. Elcon was considered as one of the best contenders for the whole event, and so far definitely looks like it. He had a very bit of a shaky showing at some parts of the match, but definitely overall pretty solid performance overall.
Yeah, definitely. But also, I'm happy that one of the Lithuanians made it into the grand final already.
This is also very something like I did not expect that will happen. The fact that we had like players.
Hello. We're gonna do it there, the interview.
Yeah. We're gonna come there.
Yeah.
So we'll have a small interview with Elcon. So we'll see what does he think.
All right.
All right, so we'll have a small interview with Elcon, with the best players so far in the tournament, just before the grand final. How does it feel that you're looking as one of the top contenders? Many people have put you in the pick'ems as the top guy. Do you also have the confidence you'll just, this is going to be pretty easy?
I had the confidence, but still the nerves were there, and I think I managed to pull through pretty good. Kinda expected a bit more from myself, but I'll see about the consistency towards the finals and see how I can improve.
So, for example, in the middle part of the match, you're starting to make a bunch of like those silly mistakes. What really happened during that phase of the upper final?
That's when the nerves were starting to kick in, and I don't know, just went a bit downhill, but I guess I still managed to get through, which is the main part. So I'm pretty happy about that.
How do you see yourself chances now taking on the event, and who do you think will be the one meeting you at the grand finals between Spam, Stufts,
Now, also Key and Bits as well. Who do you think will be the contenders against you for the next match?
Well, from this match, I've seen the Key had like really good pace and consistency. It was just unlucky for him that he couldn't get through, as Oris was really doing insane. And from the lower match, I would say Spam has the highest chances, but I wouldn't count out Stuft. And Bits also has chances, but I wouldn't really say he's high up there. Could definitely see him in the finals though.
And how do you rate yourself then for the grand final?
Uh, Definitely we'll have to improve a bit, practice between, like before the grand final comes in. But I'm feeling pretty confident and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
All right, that'll be it from Elkant, and soon we'll be back with the lower bracket final between the 2012 world champion and one of the up-and-coming players who are also going to be playing the world championships next month from the Netherlands, Stufts, as well with the Lithuanian experienced player Bits that we just saw here, with the Polish player Key in the lower bracket finals.
And we are back to the ComicCon Baltics 2023 Trackmania event. We have 2 more matches that come into play. Now the loser bracket final, or lower bracket final rather, between Spam, Bits, and then also we have Key in there and Stufts. I'm looking forward to that match because the top 2 will be going to the grand final, and I do think it will be a close match. But I have seen Spam and Stufts preparing quite a lot, and their practice looked really good, so they are contenders for the top 2 spot in this match.
Yeah, so we'll see how this one will go. So in the previous match, we had the upper bracket final between Bits, Auris, Elcon, and Key, from which Auris this time made his appearance in the grand final. So we'll get at least one Lithuanian player in there in the top 4. Last year it was Bits. And with the pick'ems, actually put Bits and Auris in the 3rd and 4th place. So we'll see how things will look like afterwards, after this lower bracket final.
Yeah, so there you go. Players are currently warming up. They're all on the server, but we're doing the pick phase right now, so we're going to go into that because the top seed will pick map 1, then the 2nd seed map 2, 3rd seed map 3, 4th seed map 4, and the 5th map is random. But one thing that you should have noticed already is that usually map 1 and 2 will be played again after the rotation has ended. They can also see Spam right now warming up and smiling, so he's always in a good mood, and definitely someone who can cope pressure quite good.
Yeah, in the previous match we had an interview with Elcon. Always Elcon was one of the people who, let's just say, was super consistent in basically any tournament he plays, and this time he started to showcase a bit of nerves this time, as he said, but it happened in the middle of the match, which is kind of very, very unusual. Most of the people either have the shakiness coming either at the start or at the end, especially when the pressure is building on when the matches are starting to close out. So we'll see what will happen here. Spam, definitely one of the most experienced players in competitive Trackmania globally.
Yeah.
And used to play also in Trackmania Grand League, was multiple also World Championship finalist as well. So outside of winning just the championship in 2012. So we'll see how well he will compare here, especially because he's one of the rivals who came together with him in the lower bracket, is one of the upcoming Dutch players. Not only for them locally, but actually internationally, was one of the top 4 most sought after like rookies of the year so far.
Yeah.
Stufts. So we'll see how both of them will do against the players we just saw playing on the stage in the previous match.
So it's the old versus the new generation, kind of. Also Bits playing or has played the TMGL beta season back then. So maybe some of you have forgotten that. I think he got 2nd place on one of the maps, if I recall correctly. He did
No. He placed 2nd in step 2.
Okay, there you go. I think that he maybe has won a match or a map. So we're going to start with a match here very soon. It is, of course, played in reverse cup mode. We have 5 maps in the map pool. Every map is played with 1 warm-up and then 4 live rounds after that.
So the way how the game mode works out is that all players will be starting with 120 points. There's going to be 4 rounds played on each map. The player who wins a round will not lose any of the points. 2nd place will lose 2 points.
4 points.
4 points, sorry. 3rd place will lose 7, and the last place will get -10. If they do not manage to get the finish in the round, they'll get -15. They'll play that till the players run out of the points, and then they'll put in the last chance status. If they lose the round with having this status on, they'll be eliminated from the tournament now.
Yeah, so a little bit different than your normal cup mode because the first 2 positions of the match are decided last, and so your incentive here is also reversed. You just want to avoid being on the last position. Of course, the first position is very advantageous because you do not lose any points. You just lock in your points and you can run away from them. We have seen Elcon doing that in the previous match quite well. In the end, he struggled a little bit, so he looked beatable, but I think still a very good performance, and I think that's also the quest for the players. Who can beat Elcon? Who can beat him? Because he had good times, was very consistent, and hardly lost points on the first couple of maps.
Yeah, so the first map we'll be going on is going to be Shade Shift, the speed tech map of the map pool. So there are 5 maps in the map pool that were custom made for the event. And this is one of the maps that's one of the pacer maps, as they say. So there's not that many difficulty spikes throughout the map. Basically players at this level will be trying to just be as efficient as they can with the lines. They'll be using the drift technique as well to go through the majority of the turns, trying to get as much momentum of every turn as possible. At the same time, since this is a very, very high level here, they're going to be trying to be as efficient as they can with the lines, at the same time trying to go for minor adjustments such as speed slides, drifts, and try to basically reduce the break time on specific parts just to, let's say, be a bit ahead of against their opposition.
Yeah, he had very good pace on this map, and that's where he also came back into the previous match, but it wasn't able to hold strong. We have Stufts also having the world record on this map, and then, Spam been very consistent on this map in yesterday's matches as well. I mean, he comes from a tech background, but a .46.3, that is a very serious time from Stufz. But the world record, the online world record, is from Key. It's a .44. But there you go, the ball has ended, and we're gonna start with the first round here. Let's see how that one will go. Players are starting with 120 points, so good luck to them. And let's see who will be the first player getting -10, and also the first player winning the round, as everyone starts equally here. No mistake has happened. Key almost clipping there. Spam going super far to the left there. Tries to maximize the speed outcome by landing a bit earlier in that half loop section. But it is Bits falling a bit further behind here in that first round. Also Spam opting for a different line there, but it's still in a fight. It's still .30 between him and Stufz. Currently leads the round, but also Key with a good comeback in this left-hander.
So again, Bits with the weakest start from everyone, from the players, similar as it was in the upper bracket final, where he didn't have that great of a performance. One of the main reasons why he actually got to this point. Clit really forced the inside, got the clip, puts immediately at the back, loses a lot of momentum. And now it comes down to two Dutchies and two players who are starting off now with the lower side. Stufz now currently leading around. Spammy trying to catch it. The player from Alliance trying to just catch up as much. Actually did a very safe line there. Probably signed the splits, so Stufz is .2 ahead, and he was pretty bit of safe room. And with that, Stufz will be the first player to save the points in this match, while Bits will get the -10, Key will get the -7, and Spam will only have -4.
So very good decision making. It is looking very good here for Spam to just make it into the... I think Spam has a very good outcome here in this match, just because of his mindset, because he has saved it there. You know, he knew he did not have to push. Maybe you remember the previous match where it was, I think it was Aurus just pushing so much and had to double respawn. He still made it, but now it is Spam falling a bit further behind. And let's jump into the round, as we see 3 mistakes already in this round. So a complete opposite compared to that round. It was Key, the only player, or he made a mistake there in this right-hander, and now he finds himself lead. Spam still on 3rd position, so he can't be happy about that. Also, Bits not with the best line there. Spam coming closer, so that's the fight for 2nd coming into play. Bits, however, still ahead by .1. Spam with a very wide line. Look how much speed he accumulates, but has to oversteer on that plastic section. Almost crashing through the wall, but he's still on the track. Stufz, the winner of the previous round, right now last. So it will be Key getting that first place and logging in his points. And Bits getting 2nd, Spam on 3rd, and Stufz on last. So there you go. Also .86. We have seen faster times, but sometimes, or usually, those times only come like in top 3, top 2 placement. But in this round, it was enough to win the rounds.
Yeah, pretty straightforward round. Basically was a mistake for majority of the players, except for Key, where he started to even save a bit at the end. But yeah, pretty big gaps, let's just say very straightforward round, nothing too crazy. But let's see what will happen this time around. In terms of total points, Key is right now in the leads with Stufz. But there's still a lot of game to be played, as all players are still in the triple digits. Stufz again now with the best start. Spam tries to now catch up a bit. He as well very close. Bits once again with the slowest start, and a light touch in the side together with Spam. We get a bit of a deja vu from the previous round where we had both of them at the bottom. Now it's a 1v1 for trying to maintain the points between Stufz and Key. Stufz has a .05 advantage so far coming from the upper parts, but starts to really force it. Key with a tech background trying to force for the inside line. Didn't get the best momentum. Small oversteer from Stufz, got bounced out to the side. However, Key now starts to go to attack. Got a way better entry point on the next part. Got even inside. However, Stufz has tiny bit more speed. Will they go for the SDs? Stufz got the SD. Key got a bit of a scuffed entry there, so it kind of gave Stufz the upper edge in this 1v1, which now starts to increase the lead, and with that, he will be maintaining all of his points from this round. Meanwhile, at the bottom, Bits will be one with the -10.
Stufz looking really strong here, getting 2 first places. And then we see Bits already dropping further behind now. He has 96 points left on his account. Spam at 102. And then it is Key moving up into that 2nd position with the 109 points. But still, everything is open. Maybe Bits, the only player, falling a little bit behind. But he can definitely make something happen on this last round here on Vixa's map. But we definitely gonna most likely see this map again, unless 2 players fall very far behind on the next couple of maps and rounds. There you go, Bits with a good start, a little bit further behind, but opts for a lot of speed here, so he still finds himself in the mix, but 0.2 behind. The Dutchies are leading. Stufz with a very good line there, and he again leads the round. It looks like Stufz has great pace, but maybe has to work a little bit on his consistency. I mean, you can all tell about that one mistake, but look at that risky line there as well, just gathering up so much speed. But everyone has survived this round here so far, as it is Key on third. Spam is attacking, but will not oversteer. They also Stuft with a very aggressive line. Bits overtakes there, but look at that here. It is still not decided who will get first, second, and third. A mistake can change everything, but Stuft will take the round victory. Spam is on second, and there you go. I think that's also a 0.5 from Stuft. Looked like a very solid run, and there you go, 0.55 from Stuft. Good time. 0.1 behind, we have Spam. Bits on third, and Key 0.5 behind with a low 59 on last position, getting -10. So Key now also down to the double-digit amount of points.
Yeah, Stuft's having a very solid start of the match. He's the only player who holds on in 3 digits. On top of that, he has only lost 10 points from after the first map, while the rest of the players are at 99, 98, and Bits at the 89 points. So Bits once again not having with the best of starts. So the top 2 players from this match will be going into the into the grand final. Will be played out afterwards. And the bottom 2 will be eliminated from the tournament.
Yeah, so Aurus and Elcon are already in the grand final. And there we also have a prize pool of 800 euro, 400 euro for first, 200 for second, 150 for third, and 50 euro for fourth. But on top of that, there's also 4 other prizes, one for each player who has made it to the grand final. There's 2 27-inch monitors from Dell, and also 2 chairs from Secret Lab that players can choose from. So the first can choose first, second can choose second, and so on. So great to have this kind of prize as well, because the chairs were very cozy actually. But
yeah,
also,
very nice, yeah.
Look at this map. Entropy can also be a very cozy map, especially for a player like Spam, but also Bits looking really strong on this map, as the world record on this map is by Key. It's also this match, so I expect some close rounds to happen.
Yeah, so we'll see. Actually, I would feel like in terms of like the history of the players, since Key, Bits, and Spam were still very active competitors when the meta for mapping was just tech only. And I feel like in the way how some turns are structured, it's like one of the most similar maps of that era. And let's see how this will go. So Key used to play in teams like THE now plays in EVO. Stift as well, together with his teammate Wizzy, who was a part in the event, but sadly did get eliminated on day 1. Stift somehow survives the very first part, but is at the back of the field, loses around like 0.4 or 0.6 even at the start. While the 3 experienced tech enjoyers from the past are currently in the top 3.
Yeah, so there you go, the tech enjoyers in the top 3. We see the first mistake being done by Key, so he's out. And also Stuft can capitalize from that, only getting himself -7 instead of -10 in this round. But still, mistakes can happen, especially in the ending, where players went a bit too inside or even outside, because the speed is just so important before the jump into the ending. And also Elcon, maybe remember that, just lucking his way into the ending by just bouncing from a scenery block into the end. But here we go, the last part comes into play. Spam is long gone, and I think also that is a very decent time from the Alliance manager and also caster. And look at that, 0.77 for him to start things off, just 0.3 away from Elcon's tournament record. Bits 0.4 behind, getting -4. Stuft's capitalizing from Key's mistake in that right-hander after the upwards drifts.
Yeah, now with the fact that Key got the -10, and Spam actually had a pretty solid round, now the bottom 3 is getting a bit more closer, but at the same time, let's just say like, there's a bit tiny, it's actually, honestly, it's a bit hard to say right now how is the early game has been. Only Stuft is only 1 in triple digits so far, only had one unfortunate round that was actually on this map. So let's see how it will go. No silly mistakes so far from the rest of the players. Stuft is only the one tiny bit behind, trying to chase down the rest of the top 3 players. Bits bit too wide, gets immediately overtaken by Stuft. Key and Spam currently in 1-2. Bits get a bit better turn, starts to catch up over Stuft, but still the gap is very similar. Oversteer small from Bits. He's still very close, but he had to do a bit of a big recorrection, and with that lose a bit of a momentum at the parts. So this will be the next very decisive part in the map. The players will try to maintain the gear at the same time, trying to get as much speed from this drift as they can. So they'll do a very wide oversteer, and actually Bits gets a pretty solid momentum. Save with Stuft. Bits did the early slide, but it's got a very close 1v1 at the top, and it's going to be Key taking it, and Stuft will be still holding on the 3rd place. And it was a very solid round, as even a 0.77 was just, 0.78 was the last place of the round.
Didn't Spam win the last round with a 0.78? So this would have not been enough to reach top 4 in this round if you just include that time into this top 4 match. So great round between them, and now it is Bits falling further behind, and we see Spam and Stufts on first and second in points, but Stufts again struggling with the start. The next mistake here from the young talented player from playing for Team Airwalkers together with Rizzy, who went out yesterday in the last round, who barely missed out on playing on stage, the wheel player. So he unfortunately did not make it, but there you go. Key also still in the conversation. Bits, however, needs a good round to not fall further behind. Look at that. Spam is again there. Consistency is key. And also Key currently on first. That was also not intended, by the way, SRK.
Happens.
Yeah, it sometimes happens, but look at that line from Bits. Coming closer, had to readjust quite a bit though. And it is Spam still on that second place. Important now to get as much speed as possible, but Key with a very good approach. Spam can jump a bit closer, but I do not think it will be enough for him to overtake that. So the positions are as is. Key on first, Spam on second, and Bits on third place. But look at that
0.58.
time, a 5.8 from Key. Very fast as well, and that's what he needs to come closer towards Stufts, who lost 10 points in this round.
So a very solid round there from top 3 players. Key definitely starting to push for the pace. We don't really see Key in that many tournaments, but in this one, he's definitely starting to really step up. And even in stuff like campaign standings on the online times, in the online qualifier where Key did came into the event. So a bit of a sketchy line there from Key and Spam. They actually managed to survive it with a tight approach. Got even like a half car length advantage with that start. Stufts the one behind. That's the same thing that I mentioned, that Spam, Key, and Bits, both of them came from the tech era, where Stufts is one of the fastest improving players that there are in the game. And let's just say you can kind of see the experience where he's tiny bit behind, while everyone still is very deep into the round. Bits over serving on the grass part, loses a bit of momentum. Stufts is by very tiny margins starting to catch up together with Key. Spam still holds on to first place so far. Bit of an oversteer. Stufts, Key, and Bits a way better exit line with that. Will maintain the gear. It's very close, very close packed. Bits is having a very solid line.
Bits with a good line. Spam as
Recorrection
well.
is
It's
gonna
so
be
close.
Key, and Spam is gonna be super close. And
What?
Keevil does secure his point. Spam with 7,000 behind, and Stufts will eat the -10 with Bits. Even though also having a very solid round, it will only getting the -7.
Well-deserved sip there of this monster energy for Key. After that, sniped only a couple of thousands ahead, but what a fight that was between all 4 players again. Also, Stufts with a quite noticeable comeback there. He was almost 0.2 behind the other players and then was almost able to snipe even that first, second, or third position there. But I think he got last in that round and lost some points again. So he's at 76 points. 2 -10 points in the last 2 rounds. So he drops down to third position, and Key finds his way back into the match. Right now, 5 points behind Spam, who's the leader of this match. Bits at 61 points, and we go to the next map, Color Burst. And I think we're going to see even closer fights on this map here as okay.
So the fastest player actually on the upcoming map on Color Burst is Spam, who has the fastest match time out of these 4 players. And it's actually kind of crazy to think how stacked the event has been, where the 2nd and 4th fastest time on this map were eliminated in the early stages of the event. So Vigno, for example, got eliminated very early. Forever as well, 9 to 12 as well, elimination.
Even on this map, I think, where he touched the outside
Oh
corner.
yeah, it was very close there, and unfortunate touch happened, but we had to risk there. And usually that's the thing happen. A lot of the players are learn the maps to close to perfection, and there's like this pressure that you sense from the other players being on the same route as you. So you have to really adapt on what you're doing, how you take the lines. Do you push it? Do you not? Just to secure the proper position at the end of each round.
But let's go here into the first round. As we see this start, Spam said that it can be quite random because you can clip there and not get the cleanest of entries into this right-hander there. But then here also there's a different line happening. Stufts and Bits went for a rather outside line to gather up a lot of speed. But look at that, Bits not getting the cleanest of transitions, losing control there. But Spam and Stufts first and second. Key not too far behind though, so that is a good line that is brewing up right now. Spam and Stufts are in great times as well. Look how far ahead they are and how much speed they have. Spam with a quite better approach than this corner, so he will come a bit closer. So let's jump into the fight here and see the POV from Spam as he also nails that outside
Good
corner.
touch,
Pretty
very
well,
for
but
Stufts
he
as
touches,
well.
and also Stufts with a mistake. Double mistake there for the dodge. But also Key with a mistake, and Bits will overtake Key as
No
well. Bits
No
from
way.
last to first here, and Stufts from first to last. What a messy ending that was. Players were really pushing it. but that was also not a good winning time. 50.41. Usually that is getting you last position on this
Yeah,
map.
Bits had the early mistake, so that's why he dropped so much. But the fact that other players just tried to keep pushing each other
Yeah.
made the bigger blunders in the end, and then Bits snacked in on and got to keep his points so far, which is actually very needed considering that Stufts, with especially his performance in the last round, is only at 66 points. So there's a bit of like a division happening between the top two and the bottom two so far in this match.
Yeah, so there you go. It is Bits, however, with also not the best start in this round. He's 0.13 behind, as we see Spam with a good line here as well. Alcon went for a different approach there, just trying to squeeze out every kilometer per hour there, or miles per hour for the NA viewers, you know, but let's not jump into the miles kilometer conversation, as Spam has a very good entry now. This time goes not that close to the barrier, and Stuft also not making a mistake there. So positions are set in stone, but no Spam with a mistake. He looked very good in this ending section yesterday, and now he just crumbles there, and it is Stuft winning the round. Bits on second, and Spam slowly but surely losing a lot of points, but also Key, -10 in this round. So every player coming closer to each other, only Bits now dropping a little bit further behind because Stuft's got that first position.
Actually, now Bits is definitely starting to have a nice step up, especially considering the last match and the early rounds of this match did not go on his way. But the last couple of rounds from his side have been quite way better, and especially in terms of results-wise. So it kind of allowed him to start to catch up or become a sandwich a bit rest of the players to become a bit closer in terms of points-wise, but still very close round so far. Still trying to be a bit more efficient with his lines. We have seen some air times coming right here from pushing. All players got the momentum. Bits and Key only had the micro airtime there in the middle. No one going for the Elcon line, so everyone goes for the center line. Tries to try to reduce the travel distance compared to just gaining a bit more exit speed. So right now, two Dutchies again are very close between each other. Who will risk it? Key overforced it and is out. Now Bits is trying to wait for a mistake from rest of the players, but look like Spam with the best approach. Stuft is very close, did a dirt wiggle, but it was not enough. And Spam with a very solid time as well, almost equaling his tournament record as well. And actually very solid time there also from Stufts and Bits as well. But it will be Spam securing his points from this round, as Key will be dropping down the list a bit more, which now allows Stuft to go into the second place.
Yeah, so Spam and Stuft first and second again, and also hi Neil. That's an ongoing meme in Trackmania. But let's jump into the next one, because we already see the first mistake that has happened. Bits on last place, but goes for the outside approach, so he tries to get a lot of speed in this sector. But look at that fight here for first. Stuft's finding himself in the lead. Key on second, Spam on third. So nothing decided just yet, but Spam had good ending sections and was finally able to get that one through. And hopefully he can make it in this round as well from his POV, as Key has a very good approach there as well. Spam jumping so far to the right, and look at that. He has to oversteer, so Spam will have more speed in exchange here. Just 1 to 2 more speed, let's say like that, but Stuft is on a banger of the time. Key also with good speed. Stuft is in the lead, but gets some airtime, is not able to control it. Key bumping out, and Spam can snipe it! Yes, because it is Key hitting the ending, also triggering the GPS there, because the finish is actually very close to the start. So that looked a bit funny there. Bits getting third, Stuft on fourth, but Spam with another good performance here. Also capitalizes from that mistake from Key.
Yeah, and with that, he has almost now 20 points advantage over the second place. So the way how the game mode is played, the players are losing the points until they run out of them. They're put in last chance mode. If they get the last place in the round, they'll be eliminated from the tournament. We're doing that till we get 2 eliminations, and the top 2 then move on into the grand finals.
Yeah, and we go to the next map, which is Ampharos from Agabu and Mephisto. Fun fact, I always mention that maybe like once or twice. Mephisto always names his maps after Pokemon. And there you can see it. This map has a very distinct section, and we're gonna move up into that one now. As you can see, the beautiful map preview here, this ice slide. It's very hard to nail that one. You can lose a lot of speed there, you can lose the gear, you can slide out, and you can also run into danger of not finishing the round, because if you do not finish in the 15-second timeout, you will get -15 instead of -10 points.
Yeah, and this has been the map where we have seen -15s the most. Especially considering the ice, since all players are really they want to win the round. They don't want to lose their points that much. So all of them will try to go for the most efficient setup, which basically requires no corrections during the entirety of the ice slide. There might be one break tab where they can do it and still keep the momentum, But if they do it in the middle of the ice slide, they do this correction with the release, it
Yeah.
causes the revs to lose and they can slide out like that. Also, if they do it at the very, very end, a lot of momentum also can get cancelled and they could potentially snowball to approximately losing even like 0.3, 0.4, which especially at this level is a pretty large gap.
But you can also then just not make the exit accordingly and hit the wall because you still have icy tires attached to your car, which you only get rid of after the turn if you jump into that grass transition. But first you have to get there without making a mistake. It is Bits taking that uphill dirt line a bit more conservative, so he's a bit further behind. Gets a good drift though. Now the ice slide, the leap of faith comes into play. Stufz gets it really well. Bits with a readjustment. There you can see it. Actually really good, but Spam lost the gear. Key touches the wall. So we see prime examples of how you can fail this ice slide. Even the exit can be a bummer for you, but it is Key falling behind. Stufz, the only player really getting it clean throughout this ice slide and is now 0.3 ahead. And look at that. Gaps are kind of set in stone, but the ending provided
We have
a lot
seen
of
the ending
content
incident as
yesterday.
well, yeah.
So let's see, we have another speech bubble moment here or not, as Stufz is in the lead. Bits is on second, Spam is on third, but I do think that nothing will happen. But look at the speed here from Key, he can overtake and he will do so! It is 25 thousandths between them, and he gives Spam like 3 more points being deducted from his account.
Yeah, Spam did manage to secure a lot of points, especially in this map, but this time, looks like it's not going to be the case as he gets his -10 in last approximately 6 rounds. So a very large points loss for him, but now Bits at 39 points, Key at 50. Stufz very close again between that second, third place gap. Similar vibe as we're getting the same thing from the upper final, where we have one player at the top with a bit of a wiggle room in terms of points.
Yeah, so there you go. Next round comes into play as it is Spam with a great start. So far ahead already, and Bits and Key are behind. So let's see how that one goes. Stufz with a great ice set. Key also gets it really well, goes over the corner there. Also gets a really good exit, but had to open the ice set a bit more than he had to do compared to Bits and Spam, who just got more speed. So the more you release, the more speed, of course, you lose. Also an ice that applies. And Brian actually, that was quite fun. But let's see who wins that round. It is Spam with a good line. Bits not too far behind either, and he can push the ending, especially because he also had a better entry
He's
to the
getting
third
closer,
section.
though.
He's getting closer. Only a couple of thousands between them. Also, this turn was really good from Bits. Coming closer again. Will Spam get sniped again? And he will
He actually
get-
does snag it.
Oh my god. Spam losing a lot of rounds in the ending. And it is Bits not getting points lost in this round. Still at 39 points. And Spam
Still
in
holds
the lead.
on, still holds on.
Wow, what a great ending though. But also Spam maybe a bit too conservative there. Maybe drifting a bit too much and losing the speed in the water.
Yeah, he basically broke out of the full grip, so he had to do a small recorrection, and Bits did not. So Bits got a nicer setup for a small inside. This was like a micro, like it's like nothing too major, but it was enough, and something like that was so decisive that Bits still holds on his points and a bit pressures the rest of the players, especially who are currently at the top.
Yeah, so also Stufz and Key are quite close to him actually. Look at that, 39, 42 and 43 points respectively. The only player who's running away right now in this match is Spam, but can maybe not finish the round is actually Key and Stufz, both with mistakes, so Bits and Spam is still left alive. So Bits finding his way into the match, and this really reminds me of his upper bracket match where he went through into the final, where he played against Evan, where he just got a lot of momentum going, and this map could really help him, as he also gets a very good third turn again, but Spam still in lead by a couple of hundredths of a second here. And now Spam gets it really well. Still Bits with a good amount of speed, but I don't think it will be enough.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen this time.
Also look at this time here, 0.06, very fast. Only a couple of hundreds away from the world record set by Zyron, who already went out on day 1.
Yeah, but actually 3 of the players we have in this match are in the top 4 in the top placement. But yeah, again, we have a player we don't really see today. That's one of the top times as well. Previously we saw Forever Dvinho, and now we have Bits at 33, Stufz and Key at 35. Key at 33, Bits having those solid rounds previously are both number 35, and Spam is a pretty, let's just say, a bit of a safe range so far with the 62 so far. So the fight for the, or let's say survival for the bottom 2 is definitely on.
So Spam playing the format really well, I would say. He's playing his cards really good and was adapting a lot right now, as he is at 62 points, 27 points ahead of both Bits and Stufz, but who will lose points here?
Bits.
-10, Bits into the wall, and look at that respawn, how far back that is. You have to clear that ice slide, and I think we have also seen it was, I think Stufz, no, Keith was in the last round, was barely able to finish. He was like plus 13.3 seconds, and if he was like 2 seconds slow, he would have not been able to finish and get plus 5 more, or minus 5 more points in this round, as Spam is just keeping up the focus, and even though he got sniped in those first 2 rounds, he just keeps up focus and will win this round here yet again, even though Key had a better ending, but it doesn't matter. Spam with also a good time here, 0.01, Key 0.2 behind. Bits, look at that, you lose 10 seconds if you have to respawn. The ice slide will get -10, and Key and Stufz now on 3rd and 2nd position, and Bits down to last.
Yeah, still gets the finish in, so it's not at least -15. What happens if you don't get a finish or DNF? But still, the bottom 3 points are very close. Spam having a very solid, consistent performance, because we already, even before the event started, mentioned that Spam's playstyle, because he's not so pacey, for example, as in Cup mode or in Rotor Duos game mode as well, where it's all about trying to get to first places so much. This is more, not so much about, this is more about not being last.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why immediately Spam can excel on such a pressure and such a game mode vibe as well.
Yeah, Spam is pulling a Marius here, I would say. Marius will be very proud of that performance. I would say Marius is always a player who drives very safe and usually does not get first positions that often, but you hardly see him in last place. And especially during the daily competition in Trackmania, he gets outpaced during the end, but he survives very long in that. So there you go. Now we go to the hardest map though, so it will be very hard to save that one because some risk is required, especially on those 2 very crucial drifts here, as one is coming into play just now. As you see the map preview being done here, it is Moment by Kista. This drift I was talking about, very hard to do that one, as well as this one, because you have to set up quite wide in order to make that speed check possible and jump over the pool border.
Yeah, so this is going to be the map where we're going to see the biggest gaps. One of the biggest separators of these gaps is not only not getting the mistakes, but of course is trying to get the drift before the water inner pool part, because that's one of the important part which can really cause a snowball, because you have to go through all of the way to the loop, especially considering it's going up the uphill. That's kind of a bit of like a pseudo speed check at that part. But since the cars will have water wheels, as soon as they come out of the pool, there's a small dirt patch, but I try to at least have 2 wheels touching it, so it cancels out the water property, else they will slide out. But at the same time, since they want to keep the momentum going, they'll be going for a lower jump and will kind of cause, let's just say, a bit more pace loss at the same time.
Yeah, as we see 2 mistakes already. Spam also struggling to find a good drift, so let's see, can he make that jump? Yes, he can. But look, he lost a lot of speed. He was 0.6 behind, and let's take a look onto the next checkpoint, how far he has dropped behind. It is a bit more, I would say, just a little bit, 0.7, so he has still made a lot of speed possible, even though he did not have the best transition. He 3.5 seconds behind, Stufz in the lead, and that's what he's in need of. He's at 28 points. Spam can afford to lose some points, and Stufz also set a 0.2 here just before the first match of the day started. He practiced a lot. 0.7 is good pace. Every time below 1 minute is quite reasonable on this map. We have seen 0.4s, also 0.2s yesterday, and also 1.19 from Elcon, who also has the online world record with a 0.10. So Elcon is ready, and there you go. It is Stufz now up to 2nd place again. Bits on 3rd, Key down to 19 points, and Spam still at 55 points, almost having the sum of all the remaining players.
You're a bit closing on end game now, especially it shows how close is the 2nd to 4th place currently in the standings, because Key just got 1 round loss and it immediately put him from 2nd to last. So just getting a solid placement in the round is starting to become very decisive, and at the same time just trying to, for Spam as well, just declining all the points from on their side. So right now we have an early mistake from Key, the player who is currently down in the standings. So as soon as the positions stay as they are, he's gonna get a -10. Bits still survives it. It was a very risky approach. This is what I was talking about. They're trying to risk it, especially because this part keeps all the momentum from it. The fact that they're so similar in this part just shows they're just trying to be as efficient as they can. Spam has a better transition, Bits with a bit wider approach. Even both Dutchies are now for the potential overtake to put Bits in the -7. Very close. Bits doesn't get the best exit speed here, but however, very nice inside that line.
Stufz.
Better setup. Stufz pushing, gets a nice
awesome.
inside line as well. Spam does secure his points. Stufz gets the overtake, and Bits will get the -7, while now Key will jump into single digits.
Yeah, 9 points left for Key, and also Bits with a good round, but Stuffs with a bit more speed after that cancellation that you have to do if you gear up. Because if you gear up whilst being in a drift, you will lose speed. So you need to make sure to straighten out your car and not have any skid marks behind. So Stuffs did that really well and also had a very good entry there into the turn. So he finally redeems himself in this round. But also, Bits almost sliding out there with that watery tires after that jump, but he was able to survive. He has to take insane risks in order to compete with the players, but I think he can do it. He's top 10 in the campaign leaderboards, but I think it is Spam and Bits with mistakes, but Bits gets away with that one a little bit more. And of course, keep in mind, Bits does not get last, or if he gets last, he will be in the last chance mode, but that is a good line, but Slidesau was able to recorrect it, went for the drift, committed to it, and Stuffs in the lead. Bits overtaking, but that is a huge round for Stuffs because both Bits and Key will at least get some points deducted from them, and also Spam could go down to 45 unless Bits or Key will make a mistake in this round. But look at that line here from Bits, really wants to get that second place. Stuffs is 1 second ahead, and he will win the round. So what time will it be? A point 40. That is pretty
Respectable,
fast.
respectable.
Yeah, pretty fast time.
Yeah, now with that, now Key getting third place is only basically if he gets second or worse, will be immediately put in the last chance right away. Unless Key continues winning the rounds and Bits gets last, that will immediately be double last chance in this lower bracket match as well. So we're playing till 2 eliminations in this game. Spam is currently at 45 points, Stuffs at 24, Bits at 10, and Key at 2. So Bits and Key really now need to get the top positions and especially start to pressure Stuffs to join them in the bottom 3.
Key needs to get first, because with first he will not lose any points. We're not down to 3 players left, where the point repartition is going to change. But look at that start here from Spam. Beautiful line there, and also gathers so much speed. But look at that, Bits. That's a position that he wants to avoid. He's on last right now, and also Stuffs with a very good line. Bits did not have a good entry, but also Key falling behind. Let's go into Bits POV here for a second and see if he get it well. No, he didn't get a good entry. He came too angled into the water and was getting a water bounce instead of just getting clean into it. So he's out on that one. Key also needs that first place in order to not be in last chance mode, but that is a good line, but Spam still is in there, and Key goes for the push. Spam with a good approach there. Who's going to get that first position? It will be Key, not in last chance mode. Very good ending, and it is Stuffs on third, and Bits with that down to last chance.
Yeah, it was expected that Key will be, but those unfortunate rounds from Bits will now put him in the last chance. So if Bits does get last in the match, he'll be eliminated in the tournament in 6th place, but he can still hold on. He can still pressure the rest of the players, especially Key and Stuffs, who are very, very close in the total standings. As now Stuffs is at 17 points, Key is at 2. So they're not too far, but the main thing he just needs to just not get last.
Yeah, now we go to map number 1 again, the map from Vixa. So the first seed has picked this map. I think every player was pretty decent on this map, so I expect close fights to be happening. So 4 more rounds on this map, and let's see if this will be the last map of this lower bracket final.
Yeah, so it's gonna let's just say like that. Spam has had an amazing match so far.
Yeah,
definitely gives you in a group of things if he does make the final, which currently looks like quite high likely. Bits in a quite danger zone. There was one match that we had at the booth. Well, Bits set at the last chance for 7 rounds. So he survived 2 rounds, and actually, I believe this was the upper semifinal for the upper final as well.
It was, yeah.
Against Spam, Evan, and Auris, where they actually clutched into it. And then both Lithuanians actually managed to get through with that match, sending both Evan and Spam from the lower bracket. So it looks like now Spam is on his... I almost said it again, revenge.
Yeah.
Redemption arc, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that was a great match. And I also said there that Evan and Spam will make it, but then it was Bits and Auris going through. So that's the beauty of Trackmania. Everyone can beat everyone in this kind of situation. It just, you need a little bit of luck, but also need to make sure to just hold your composure. Well, let's see how Bits will keep on with this situation as he gets a very shaky start. So this could be over very quick for Bits, and he could not make it into the grand final as Key still has a shot. Even though he has 2 points left, he should avoid first, second, and third. But that's also now very problematic because he could save Bits here of getting eliminated, because it is Key now in last place, 1 second behind, touching the wall. The Dutchies are in the lead. Stuffs looking very good in the last couple of rounds, and also Key here with a very, very unnecessary mistake. Look at that. Stuffs also with a mistake, but I think it will not be enough. Key, never DNF, man. You don't do this.
Aufpassen.
Aufpassen. This is not good. you never DNF. We have seen also a situation from Johan yesterday where he DNF'd, but he would have been in. So this is not good, and we see a double last chance happening. And also, I mean, it doesn't matter if he gets -10 or -15, he will still be in that last chance mode. Spam with a .50,
yeah,
setting
that's really
the
good.
second fastest tournament record. Good time from Spam. Bits on second, Stufts on third, down to 10 points. So also, if he gets last place, he will be in last chance mode. So spicy match. Only Spam can chill a little bit.
Stufts as well now, if he gets last place, he will also be joining the LC crew in a sense. So now if both Bits or Key get last place, they'll be eliminated from the tournament. Spam with a shaky start. Stufts, if he get last place, then he also the same case. Spam having an amazing match, all the time being in top positions. In the previous round, actually, there was a situation if he would have actually gotten second place, he would still be joining the last chance. So that's why he probably went for the DNF there. These players are free to choose to do so. But of course, it's quite punished, especially in terms of points. So right now, very close fight at the top. And actually, basically between all four players. Bits only one with point on behind. He with a bit of air time so far. Really tries to attack from the inside. Two Dutchies at the same time are at the top. Both last chance players are also chasing and trying to fight for their spot. Spam trying to secure their points. Bits trying to push it. Has way more head speeds. Gets very closer. Tries to overtake Key. Trying to send the Polish man into the depths of the tournament and sending him completely out. Bits closing in. Where is Key? Key is very close. And looks like at the end, a bit of oversteer from Bits. And Key will be eliminated. What a crazy round from all four players. But with that, Bits still holds on. Stufts only at 6 points. And now the Lithuanian has to face off against two Dutchies.
Yeah, Stufts at 6 points. So now we have a different point repetition. It is -2, -6, and -9 points for the respective positions. So Stufts needs to make sure to get that first position to also not be in last chance mode. Or they just make it a clean business, both Dutchmen, and they just knock out the Lithuanian because they also get the better start. All of that Spam so close there to the wall, but he is still not through this just yet. But that is, again, a very, very good time here. That Spam is on.
Oh, Spam is out, so that's basically a good opportunity. The thing is now happening. If Bits does overtake Stufts, it will immediately put Stufts in with the last chance together with him. Stufts with a shaky line doesn't get the best exit speed, so Bits really needs to get this overtake on Stufts right here, right now. Stufts getting overtaken, taking a bit of a safer approach, doesn't get the best exit speed, goes for the SD, gets way more momentum coming on the next side, very highly
good
right.
line from Stufts.
Bits trying to save it, just not to be last, saw probably the times, but this position is really important for him. Stufts does not jump in last chance just yet, but Bits will have to have another round to survive. He probably went for the save card instead of trying to push it to force out the mistake, which kind of would send him out of the tournament. So probably that was the decision he made at that part, but he could have been very, very close, and we could have gone 2 last chance players with just 3 players left.
Yeah, he overdrifted a lot in that last drift there. So it is Stufts now down to 4 points. So still 2 more rounds if he gets first position, but then he also needs to rely on Spam of having a good round.
Early mistake. Wait, what?
Huh?
Bit of a mistake
That
there
was
from Bits
that was
as
a
well.
Yek moment. That was a Yek moment if I've ever seen one. What is happening?
Yeah, basically, yeah, round is continue on. Because so far we have Stufts leading. Spam is trying to chase it. Bits had a small incident there, but now Spam trying to chase it. Stufts would be very nice. Maybe you can hear something from the admins there, what happened there. But currently, Stufts currently is in the lead with Spam in the second place. Bits currently is at the last position in the realm of the... Yeah, I saw that, yeah, of course, yeah. So right now Bits is trying to be at the bottom now, which is probably gonna happen. We'll have to see what does happen there, but looks like he's mentally is out of this match already, which is gonna be the same case technically at the end as well.
So Stufts and Spam into the grand final. So there you go, but I'm not sure what happened there to Bits in the end. So looked like a DC for me from his input device. But there you go, because Spam made a mistake, Bits made also a mistake, and then, yeah, it just snowballed. He just went straight and did not accelerate. So there you go, the match with that is over, and we have our 4 grand finalists. It will be Elkon, Aurus, Spam, and Stufts. So the Dutchman from the lower bracket have survived and will fight it out for the prize pool of €800 plus 2 monitors. That is up for grabs for either of those positions, as well as...
yeah, a bit of an anticlimactic end happened here.
Definitely. And also 2 chairs. as
Yeah,
well.
but this usually
from
happens, which is Trackmania is such a mental, momentum-based game. As soon as their mistake is just, fully out of it.
Yeah.
Probably what happened there is just what I saw, that Bits made a mistake and immediately kind of gave up. It's like, oh, it's over in a sense. But he probably did not notice that Spam had a mistake on his end, so that's why kind of
Unlucky.
the mental gave up happened. But now, we'll have the grand finals, so we'll have a small break and we'll have the grand finals of the Trackmania tournament at ComicCon Baltics 2023. It's going to be between Elkon from Czechia and Into the Breach. The local man always trying to defend. How's some saying local player? Honestly, I'm a bit surprised that he made it, but very well
I'm
played
happy.
so far, yeah. And we'll have the two Dutchies that now climbed themselves out of the lower bracket.
So we're gonna see in a bit, and this will be a banger of a match. Are back to the grand final. ComicCon Baltics 2023 of Trackmania will come to an end. As okay, I'm really hyped to see those 4 players fighting it out here for a cash prize of €800 plus. Also 2 monitors and 2 chairs are up for grabs for the players.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff actually. It's
Yeah.
already placed on stage. It looks actually it's pretty large. It might not look that big on stream, but actually it's quite large. That pack, I think it's on the same height as me. I believe it even was. But yeah, anyway, that's gonna be our. We have the last match of the Trackmania tournament. It all came down from the online qualifier. We also had invited players for the event as well. It included players like previous world champions as well. Also one of the up-and-coming players, which one of them is also gonna be into the grand final. So in the last match today is gonna be Auris, the Lithuanian represent. As I'm really surprised that we got a Lithuanian in the finals, and Auris definitely made a name for himself. So then we'll also have Elkon, who also had a very strong performance in the upper bracket final, and together with him there will be 2 Dutchies who came from the lower bracket, both 2012 world champion Spam, currently for Alliance, and Stufts, as they're talking about the pronunciation, Stufts or Stufts. Or, yeah, it's very fun to say. Playing for Team Airwalk, who is also in the World Championship, is also part of this grand final. For both Dutchies, had a pretty nice lower bracket run that made them into this final at the end.
Yeah, I think that's the 4th match or maybe 5th match that Spam and Stufts play against each other. I think it was first round, then they met in the 3rd round again in the lower brackets as well, then in the lower bracket final as well, and now in the grand final, maybe the 4th or 5th match. So they go hand in hand to this, and let's see who will be the best from them. Because now we have a kind of different format in the grand final. We have a point number of 150 this time around, and instead of 4 rounds per map, we have 5. So that is a little bit more, so 25 rounds before we're gonna jump into map number 1 again. The point repartition stays the same for the positions, and this time we also play for 1st and 2nd place, because those will be the most exciting part of the match.
Yeah, so basically with this time, well, previous matches we had 2 players getting eliminated. This time we have, basically, this event will end on a 1v1 between the 2 players.
Yeah. And in the 1v1, the players will lose 4 and 8 points respectively. So the match will progress very fast. But if you have gotten a good lead, let's say you have 24 points in the end, you can still afford to lose 3 rounds. And then you will just be in the last chance mode. The final will start very soon here in just a couple of seconds, actually. I'm hyped. Do you have any prediction, SRK?
Actually, speaking of predictions, there were pick'ems around the event, starting from day 1 and day 2. So the winner of the pick'ems tournament, that happened with the small viewing challenge, also will get a prize from Dell, which were the main sponsors for the event, with a keyboard from Alienware, a headset, and a mice as well from the pick'ems winner outside of the tournament players, where you can also see the full bracket at the ecircuitmania.com as well. So outside of that, this whole event was possible thanks to Cup Noodles. If you're still at the event, I highly recommend checking out the booth as well. It's possible to get some noodles for yourself as well. Especially, I really dig the booth that we had where the first day 1 matches were played. Also, it's a chance to try out Trackmania as well if you're at the venue and see what's actually the level like where the players are playing here.
Yeah, and also Dell is the sponsor, having nice monitors provided for the players, but also for the prizes at the end. And also, of course, we have Secret Lab as well, who are the chairs that players are sitting on and also winning them in the grand final. As we are starting here with the grand final, let's go, guys, and see who's going to win it. As we have Spam, Elkon, Stufts, and Auris fighting it out here for a cash prize of €800. So let's jump into the first map, and we're already going to start with an interesting one. This is Elkon's pick. It is Moment.
Yeah, so all players, based off their performances in the bracket, get a chance to pick the map order. And it's very, very important, because especially the elimination or the second circulation of the maps will end up on the favorites picks. So that will kind of is the advantage of the pick order. So I'll have to see, this is the map we have seen the biggest gaps so far, especially at the very end. And considering that these are the 4 best players we have at the very end, we might see some really harsh pace being pushed by many of the players, which, well, we'll see if some might crumble under this pressure.
So we are in-game now. Let's go into the first round here of this grand final. Spam, Elkon, Stufts, and Auris will go into the first round. And let's see if Elkon can keep up his great performance that he has done in the winner bracket final. He played so well and was the only player really sticking out from the others. Auris also got in there, but fell a bit behind during the middle part of the match. And let's see what Elkon can do. Good start for Spam, the 2012 world champion, but gets too much, or gets not the best transition in that corner. finds himself on last place. Oris overtakes, and also Stufz right now in that fight with Elcon. Good approach there is required to clear that speed check there that is coming into play after that watery transition. And it is always sliding out, but still gets away with that. Maybe not the best amount of speed, but let's go into the fight here for that first position. It is Stufz and Elcon fighting it out. Elcon currently in the lead. Stufz also with a good line, and it is Elcon getting the best out of that one, but Stufz goes for a low line there, minimizes airtime accordingly, and also Elcon here onto a bang over time. He has the fastest time on this map at .19 as the tournament record and a .10 set in the online leaderboard, and look at that, it will probably be a .3 from Elcon. Let's take a look at .26 to start things off, only 1600s away from the world record. Great time. Stufz is .7 away, and Elcon asserting dominance, and look, just chilling, you know, writing, yeah, thank you guys. Nice time in chat, yeah, thank you.
A slight grin on the face as well. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Giga chat.
Yeah, only 3 people realistically can do that kind of time in match, and so far during the rest of the tournament, only 3 people, Elcon one of them being so. Also, Evan was one of the players, actually put also his teammate from Into the Breach, but did not manage to get into day 2. But one of the players is also Oris, and Spammy is very, very close in the top 4, but is not being able to do that pace in a round so far. So Spam, bit of airtime, has to go for the double respawn at the checkpoint. So now both Stufz and Elcon are currently in the 1v1 for trying to keep their points in this round. Elcon has a bit better life for more momentum. Got even a very nice skid marks during that part, so don't lose that much speed, but Elcon's exit point was way better due to that now going into the lead and overtaking. And very nicer setup as well. Gets a bit more momentum. Light touch from Stufz. Even Auris now gets the overtake, whereas Spam even had a bigger blunder during the round. Auris as well, wrist it, touched the wall, even dropped the gear as well. And due to that, will be dropped down to 3rd place. We'll see if some players risking. Elcon going for a mediocre round.
What? Elcon with a new world record? I don't believe it. 59.05. What is this guy doing? And you can also see Stufz in disbelief. Just what is this guy doing? Elcon with a perfect start into the match. And the others are, we have to mention it, XCD shaking. You know, it's an emote that has accompanied us throughout the tournament. And Elcon just chilling and smiling. I mean, he probably has a better time offline as well, but what a great time here from Elcon to start off this grand final. 150 points still on his account, but look at Spam, already losing 20 points in the first 2 rounds. Oris with a very, very risky approach, and he will not make it. He will go down the drain there, and it is a 3-horse battle. Actually, a 2-way fight between, you know, who is gonna beat Elcon? He's already so far ahead again. Look at that. 2.2 ahead again, SOK. I don't believe it. Elcon is on another banger. Stufz and Spam can solely not match the pace. As Stufz goes for the attack, has more speed than Elcon, and comes a bit closer, but ever so slightly. The map is ending very soon. Elcon had a very good section here in the previous round where he went super close there to the wall, and also Stufz clipping now, making almost another mistake there, but he also is not getting the best amount of speed out of it, so Spam will overtake. But the question is, what will Elcon do? He's again on such a great time. He's 0.6 ahead of the others, and I think this will be another low 59 time from Elcon. Let's see, it will be a 58.97, a new world record back-to-back from Elcon. He cannot believe it himself. What a madman, winning 3 rounds in a row with insane times.
Yeah, and 2 of them is like no one else on the world can actually get close to that on top of that. And being the first one who will break under 59 as well. And the thing is, since in the final we have 5 rounds in a map, so 2 more opportunities to set a very strong precedent for Elcon, as he has not lost a single point in terms of the match as well.
Wow, I am still in disbelief. Elcon just getting all the momentum that he can get into the match. Imagine who beats that time again. I probably jinxed it now, but he's again in the lead. SRK are really witnessing a back-to-back world record from Elcon, because look, he's again 0.13 ahead. It looks so easy for him. It's crazy. As Stufz comes closer, Elcon not with the best line there, so he will drop a little bit of time. So I do not think that we're gonna see a new world record unless Elcon gets a good ending, but Stufz going for the overtake. Spam also with a very good line, going up into 2nd place, but Elcon is still not all of that conversation just yet, but he did not get the best trajectory here, as well as Spam, who also drops further behind Stufz, who could get some valuable points not being deducted from his right now 135 points. But look at Elcon going for the attack like a predator. He can snipe Spam in the ending, but will it be enough? No, it will not be. And look at that, Stufz wins with a 0.6. And to keep you guys just, it's 0.65 slower than the time that Elcon set in the previous rounds.
And yeah, 0.6 is a pretty large gap, especially at high level. And the fact that looks like that Elkan really tried to save that exit part, so that's why he had such a large time difference between rest of the rounds, while he had to do a bit of over recorrections in that part. But yeah, Auris in the meanwhile, not having the best of matches so far. Basically, in every single round, he has had a mistake. And in the last round, he had like more than even for 4 seconds. But so hopefully he can redeem himself this time around, as Stufts is currently behind him. Stufts had a minor readjustment, but not too major so far. He's only 0.5 behind, so Stufts now trying to push it. Elkan as well. Look at the CPs. What a crazy start from Elkan so far, but a very close fight at the bottom on trying to just who will be the one who will try to avoid the large point gaps. But at the same time, Elkan and Spam as well.
Excuse me.
Very, very pushing. Looks like, well, let's see what Elkan can cook this time.
Yeah, he's half a second ahead of Spam. Got a good transition there as well. So Elkan on a banger of a time. This could be another improvement from the Czech talent here as he approaches the ending. Pause champ in the chat. Let's see what Elkan can do. One more jump to go. 57, 58, and we have another new world record of 58.82 from Elkan. This man is insane. He drives another world record. I cannot believe it. What is he doing? Ours with -10, but like look at the smile, like the cheeky smile, and he's like, yeah, guys, I have a 0.6 offline probably, right? Oh my God, I cannot believe it.
The guy's cooking. Like, we already thought that Elkan will be pretty good, but looks like this is his final form that's popping up.
The
at
mega
right time when
evolution.
needed. Yeah, but that was one of the best maps. But even if you look around at the tournament results for the next map, that's gonna be, which is gonna be Color Burst, the map that Spam said it was actually one of his favorite maps in the pool because it reminded a lot of like the track of the day a bit in a sense. But yeah, Elkan actually has a very interesting line where it is a tiny bit faster, but it's way harder to get it done. So let's see what Elkan can cook here, but at the same time we look at the rest of positions right now. Auris is at 106 points, so he has lost 44 points in the previous match. Meanwhile, Elkan only dropped 7. In meanwhile, we have Spam at 118 and Stutz at 128, so pretty large gaps considering we just played one map.
Yeah, definitely. Auris not really arriving in the match, but also Spam had some not that good of rounds, well, round 1 and 2, where he just lost 10 points. So there you go. Let's jump into the next match.
So important thing here to mention is that Auris is quite confident on this map, so I'll have to see what he can do here. Elkan does a 49.8 in the warm-up, but I have seen stuff that Auris has been doing in the booth when they were warming up before the main stage matches. So let's see what they can do. I'm very, very interested in what Auris will do in the match. He actually did set the online time attack world records just shortly before the matches started on stage. He did a 0.5 where no one else has done it. So let's see what happens here. Can Auris actually redeem himself with the time attack pace? Lithuania always had this bit of a curse, but they always did really, really good in time attack, but in the actual rounds, even in Baltic League, like never worked out, and usually you had like Estonian or Latvian players coming out on top. So it's even though they always, for the entirety of tournament, had a very solid performance, usually at the very end they were kind of did not manage to pay out. So let's see what will happen here.
Yeah, as Elkan again goes for that wide line that you were talking about, does not touch the wall, has more speed than Spam. Auris currently behind, but only by 0.1 of a second. Stufts is ahead of him, but Auris with a very good line there, approaching the last part of the map. We've seen some mistakes here happening. This time it is Spam surviving. Elkan so far ahead, but lost a lot of speed, and it is Spam coming closer. He could get that first position, and Spam can snipe Elkan in the ending, and he will do so. Auris also not being ahead. It was so close, only 900 of a second between them. Usually a 0.8 is enough to win a round, and this time it was Auris getting -10, even though that was a really good round from him. But this puts definitely some, yeah, that's not good
It's
for
a
him.
grand final for a reason, let's just say it like that.
Yeah.
So we have all four best players that we had on these specific map sets that came through. Everyone challenged each other in the double elimination bracket we had at the venue today. So it all comes down to here. So you, of course, you're still checked at the best, so you have to try to keep that up. Like Auris, like I mentioned, he could do stuff very well in time attack, but in rounds, always looking shaky. So let's see if he can redeem himself right here. Yeah,
You said it.
Yeah, I
Said
said it
it.
once again. Yeah, it happens. Yeah. So anyway, rest of the players are trying to go. Elkan goes for that weird low jump line on the parts, tries to build a bit more extra speed, where he tries to catch up to the rest of the players. Especially now, everyone is in a very nice bundle, because it all comes down on this outside dirt right here. Stutz, amazing outside dirt right there, gets a lot of momentum. Auris tried to save it, Tries to spin up mistakes. Spam has a very nice approach. Small bump from the outside. And it's going to be locked in position. Despite Stufts actually got a very nice low jump. Almost missed the finish there from the side bump. But still will not deduct his points in this specific round. In the meanwhile, Audis will get another -10. He was now playing way better. But now the pace is needed to maintain it. And he's just a bit lacking the pace compared to the rest of the players here.
He's getting outpaced. 86 points left for Auris. Almost halfway through the point limit, or the points that players started with was 150. And you can see, it's still pretty close between Stufts and Spam for that second place. Also, Elcon dropped some positions due to his kind of inside dirt ending line, where he conceded a lot of speed, and also the outside line that will come up very soon here in this corner. Did not really work out too well for the player for ITB, as he's not going for it now, not that extreme, but still has a good amount of speed accumulated over in that corner, as Spam is still not too far away from that. Oris again on last, but he's not playing a bad round, but of course it's the grand final. Oris has to step more out of his comfort zone, and now it is Stufts alone with Elcon in the fight for first. Spam with a mistake. Oris not too far behind either, but he needs a mistake, and it will be Elcon winning a round. And look at that. Oh my god.
Stufts missed the finish.
Dude, I think that's one of the first times that this has happened, that someone missed the ending.
He really risked for the low jump that came from the sideways platform rotation happening at the very end. He really tried to force it, but the line was forced too much to the left, and it was not enough to hit the finish line. And with that, Spam and Auris managed to secure some points, so Auris currently had the best round where he did place second. In the meanwhile, Elcon still holds on the 132. So he has more than 50 points now. Basically, he has 50 points now than Auris, and we're just on second map.
That's insane. But also look at that different lines that have been chosen there. Spam went for the inside line, and we have Auris, Elcon, and Stufts going for the outside approach. Stufts, not with the best amount of speed there, had to readjust in this corner to not slide out or to jump out, and Elcon trying to overtake your Spam with a very risky line. Look how close he went to the barrier here in order to maximize the no steer time to just get some more kilometers per hour out of this sector. But it is Elcon in the lead. Good outside dirt line from Elcon, going so close there to the barrier, is barely able to stay alive. And Spam also coming closer to Elcon here, but it will be enough for Elcon to stay ahead and setting up point 67. Wow, this is...
They're cooking.
A very good time, yeah. Spam 300s away, setting a new tournament record for him on third position, just behind Forever. So the internal battle for the managers is still going on, and Elcon still 132 points.
Well, to give some interesting stats, is that Spam's time right there was still like one of the... Basically, him, Forever, and Elcon, all the three people who can kind of challenge that. And it was not enough to win the round right there. So it's kind of crazy pace that's being played out right here. So everyone's trying to be as efficient as they can with the lines, and as you see, one small mistake immediately puts you at the bottom. So everyone's trying to really even basically push for each of those pixels as much as they can. Small inner bump from Spam, but at least Lally gets put into line. Elcon going for the outside, Spam touches the outside. Elcon now with a bit better line, has to actually recorrect himself because he almost touched the border right there. Now we have a bit more separated round compared to any other on this map. Auris now trying to secure some of the points, bit of a safer approach. Elcon goes even for the wiggles, Stufts as well pushing.
They have more
Auris holding on, boats.
Auris!
No!
It will be enough.
Down 7,000. Whew, saved. Okay, yeah.
He was actually on a really good time. That was a point 75, even though he has thrown it away in the ending. So there you can see he set that point 5 beforehand, and it showed up. And that was a very important 10 points, or like, not 10 points. We don't play in cup mode. Like 0 points in that way for Auris to not fall further behind. But he's still halfway through the match. He's at 75 points. And if you reach 0 points, you are in that last chance mode. And then you should, or you have to avoid that last position by any cost. Now we go to the next map, which is also, I think, a very, very nice map to watch, because we have seen some good gaps here as well on this map. It is a map from Arian.
Yeah, so this is one of the old school tech maps. So one important thing is going to be very important for Auris' momentum now for the rest of the final, is the fact that he actually managed to end out the previous round on the round win to actually try to, okay, maybe actually we can, you know, do something here.
Hopium.
Yeah, a bit of hopium injected into his veins so he can actually get some damage done. His first map was absolutely not in his way. If we actually go through tournament records, Elcon and Spam are currently 1 and 2, while Stufts and Wizzy are in 7 on 8 on this map. So a bit of advantages based off the, or a bit of a, let's just say, stats advantage towards Spam and Elcon on this map. So let's see what Stuffs and almost said Stuffs and Wizzy there. Stuffs and Auris can do on this map. Can they challenge the two contenders who are looking as the best on during this tournament so far?
I don't blame you. I mean, after casting 11 hours on Saturday, like Stuft and Wizzy is also in my veins, as well as the Hopium for Auris, because he can definitely make something happen on this map as well. But Elcon and Spam having first and second tournament records here, and also Stutz was really good in the ending section, lost quite a bit of time at the start. And you can also see Auris going for a different line, goes for the side ramp to minimize airtime there accordingly, but it did not really pay off since he lost some speed due to that. 800s away, and this could be, I mean, in this level, it could already be the decisive turn to be falling behind. But nope, we see a mistake from Elcon. Could, I think, get his first minus 10 points in this match, and then Spam and Stufts could capitalize from that. Auris not with a good line, but he's still quite far ahead of Elcon, who has made a bigger mistake.
Closing in though. Elcon's closing in, but the gap is starting to now equalize due to the turns, but now a very widespread round so far. Stutz still has a chance unless Spam, basically a gear loss here, will lose you 0.3, so unless that happens, which it did not, or maybe a small touch from there, so Stutz trying to play safe, wait out for a mistake. What's gonna happen from Spam? Not too shabby.
Oh, Elcon overtakes.
But Elcon actually sniped out. Oh man, we didn't see that. Oh,
yeah, unlucky. Unlucky.
All happens, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what happens. Elcon still doesn't get his minus 10. Instead, Auris is the one who collects it. Probably he really full Sandy, and maybe Auris got the gear up on the last part that kind of caused that overtake happen at the end.
Yeah, and Elcon, I mean, after map 1, I think we do not have to tell you that this guy is fast. Yeah, I mean, that was just insane how he performed there. And we could, I think we will see this map again for Elcon due to the point limit being 150, and he's still at 121 points. So let's see, and go into the next round as Stuft, Spam, and also Elcon getting a good start. No one opting for a very inside line, and no one clipping there either. But it is Auris, 0.2 away from the others. So there you go. Let's approach the second part of the map. Very important to just get as much speed as possible out of this grass section. We've seen Wizzy, Stuft's teammate, going for a very inside line there and travel less distance, but also now it is Auris still further and further falling behind. It's between Elcon and Spam for that first position. Stuft's also in the mix, but Elcon with a perfect line there around that corner will not lose that much speed, but also Spam not too far behind. This is still very close, 500s between them. Spam has to readjust. Stuft also comes close, but it's not enough. And look at those times, a 0.60, a 0.64, and a 0.72, which is last or third place in this round. Auris cannot match the pace, is 0.4 behind, did not do a mistake, but again gets minus 10 points.
Look at the points that Elcon is still holding on. He's still holding on to 121 so far. He has only lost 29 points after Casterman? 12 rounds.
Yeah, it's the 13th.
Round.
But
yeah.
I know the script, it's in front of me. Elcon will win this round.
Okay. Well, it
Glad
wasn't Elcon, it was
Elcon
Spam.
who crashed.
It was Spam in the end who had that early mistake there. So let's see how it goes. The rest of the three players are very close. Oh, that was almost very close to the touch right there. Elcon still leading around. Auris trying to challenge back. Auris actually gets a bit better exit than Elcon. Elcon had a minor readjustment there. Stift is very, very close. Auris had additional break tab, which kind of now equalized the field with him and Stift. Elcon is still in a 0.2 lead so far. Bit of a big wired exit. All players have similar exit speed. Stutz is a tiny bit better line that point. Bit of an overcorrection from Stutz. Auris got a bit too much of a wide line, had to oversteer in that part and had the skid marks being separated. But Auris has a bit more speed. Who can maintain the gear better?
Good
Momentum from Auris so far. Gets even the gear at the exit point a bit better. Recorrection from Stutz.
Auris has more
to
speed.
right, way longer line, and it's gonna be Elcon setting a 0.6 again. Not the world record, but a very solid match time. Will get to keep his points. He's basically a fight for second place so far.
Yeah, I have the script in front of me, guys. You have to trust me there. It's actually a 0.56 even, beating the time from Key, who went out in the previous round. So good time there from Elcon, still at 121 points. And look at that, Spam and Stufts on second and third right now, 79 and 76 points respectively. Always falling behind, but Elcon, you know, with a mistake, so he also wants to give the others a chance to get deducted some less points in this round. As, I mean, he's not too far behind, but he needs to rely on a mistake from one of the other players. Surely this will not happen to this right-hander here. Nope,
Surely.
it will not. As Spam and Stuft extending the lead towards Auris, who really is struggling to match that pace. But Stuft's so aggressive there. We have seen a lot of mistakes, especially in the first round of this match, of this tournament, in this particular corner. but Stuft still able to hold on to that second place. But look at the attack from Orbis, has more speed in this corner by the looks of it, but no, Stuft's going for the attack onto his fellow countryman Spam. And Spam has a better approach. They will have a bit more speed in this sector, and he will still be in the lead, 13,000 of a second. Who will get the best ending? It is Spam. Stuft with a bit more speed, but it will not be enough. So Spam wins the round with a .67. And look at that. Momentum is being gained for him for the 2012 World Champion.
And Elcon collects his first -10 of the match. Like, only now that happens, but Elcon is still in 3 digits. Meanwhile, Auris is at 44 points. So Auris definitely needs to get those top placements going on while there's still possibility to keep them in the round, of course, to prevent himself from being eliminated in the event in the 4th place.
Yeah, it is looking dire for Auris right now, 44 points. But, I mean, this map looked way better than the 2 previous maps for him, where he lost a lot of points, to be honest. And now, I mean, he's still in the race, but he needs to rely on a mistake, but makes the mistake himself there, clips on the uphill and loses a lot of speed. So our fellow Lithuanian player is down to last position yet again. Spam in the lead, Stuft with a very good line overtaking Elcon, and we have a good fight that is brewing up here on the top, as Spam also did not get the most amount of speed out of that corner, and also Elcon and Stuft going for a very aggressive inside line. Look at that line from Stuft, going very, very close there to the wall, and just getting so much speed across in that corner. And now Spam didn't have it too good. Stuft, however, still quite far behind. The last rip will decide it. It is Elcon on 3rd, Stuft on 2nd, and Spam again on 1st place with a .60. Even though he did not have the best ending section. Lost a bit of time there, but he will jump away a little bit further from Stuft, who's now at 68 points, Spam at 79, and Elcon -7 again, so losing quite a lot of points in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, so actually Spam had a really, really solid map right there, and actually managed to secure quite a bit of points. That's why he now holds on into 2nd place. Previously, Stuft's now in the 2nd. And Auris, meanwhile, has a very hard challenge here because the rest of the players are having a very solid pace. And the main issue right now for Auris is the consistency, but he's now pressured so much where for other players, they're like a pseudo-safe pace. What's happening now is like this hybrid between risk and saving. It's basically Auris' full risk pace. So that's why there's so many mistakes popping out from Auris, considering that the pace that they're doing is, let's just say, the upper echelon of the whole circuit here.
He has to go out of his comfort zone, and also on the next map that is coming into play. Oh god, we have ice lights all the way, this time ×5 and not ×4, and also an ending that provided a lot of content. I think this could be the last time that we're going to see this map in this tournament, because I don't think that players will revisit this map here yet again. And it is Ampharos by Agrabu and Fisto. And look at that, it is still tied with the world record, but I do think that we're going to see a sub-59 in this match.
Do you really think so?
Yeah, maybe even 2 times.
Well, the thing before that sub-59 to happen, for example, compared to the map that was map 1, is that the ice light is very notorious, and there's literally just 1 or 2 types of entry points that can happen. So you can take through the ice light because it's so tight and so precise and so technically static in a sense. So every single correction during the ice light will cost around like 0.3, 0.4. And if you go through, then you still have to maintain your grip afterwards. And that has been one of the main reasons why there have been so many decisive and crashy parts during that ice part. So let's see what will happen in this round right here.
Yeah, it is Elcon, not with the best start there, getting a little bit of a bump there, but Elcon is a very good ice player, but right now he is 0.2 behind as Spam and Stuft finding themselves in the lead, but look at that line here from Elcon, coming closer, but clips, will lose the gear in exchange and does not have a lot of speed, so he drops down to last place. Spam and Stuft fighting themselves back into that conversation for 1st position maybe, but of course Elcon has to make some more mistakes like that after that great start for him on his best map that he also picked. He is now losing some more points. It could be 27 points lost in the last 3 rounds. And also Spam had a quite conservative ending section here on this map on the last match, but now he gets a good setup, oversteers a bit, so Stuft will overtake Spam, not with the best amount of speed, and he will drop down from first to last, actually. No, also Stuft with a mistake. We did not spot the respawn from Stuft because you do not see the players' names in there, and Elcon will win this round, even though he has made a mistake on the ice.
What kind of plot armor is that?
Huh?
What kind of plot armor is that?
Wow. Like Spam and Stuft were in the lead. Spam had to readjust Stuft's. I think did he respawn or crash, something like that?
So he hit the side of the pool, so that's why he had to respawn, so he was bounced down to the side, while Elcon full send departs. So on water, your speed is fixed based off your entry, So as Elkan had way more speed when he entered the water, so that's why he had so much more momentum compared to the rest of the players. Everyone tried to like pseudo save it, and that's why everyone gets overtaken in that specific round. Let's see what happens right here in the overtake for the ice slide. Will there be any slide outs? We don't see any slide outs happening so far, but a lot of recorrections, especially at the exit points. Everyone guessing through it. That's actually quite rare that happens through there. But now this is currently the one at the minor disadvantage. The disadvantage is not that large. It's only 0.15 compared to the rest of the players. But let's see what happens here. Bit of a wider approach. Recorrection from Auris. Bit of a larger travel distance, but gets way more exit speed than Spam. Spam also had to recorrect his line. Let's see here. Oh, very nice line from basically all players except Spam. Due to that, Auris now catches up. Auris goes a bit wider, tries to get more speed. Elkan pushing it as well. Auris as well, decent speed. Nice inside line there as well. But Elkan gets the first place. Stiff's very close. Very solid round from everyone. Those minor, only the main differentiator here were those minor like changes that happen at the exit of the ice line.
So Auris in this close round, not getting last position, sniping Spam there in the ending, who is now also only 8 points away from Stufts in that battle for second place. Auris already down to 23 points, so if he loses 23 more points, he will be in that last chance mode, and then he has to deny last position with any cost. And look at that round, very close here. Follow all cameras, very good to utilize here as we also go to the ice that maybe all players will survive again. And Stufts is in the lead. Elkan with a good approach. Spam is doing it well, but Auris slides out, loses the gear there. And also Elkan with a mistake. Spam, who did not have the best ice slide, up to second place. Stufts can get some good points, or can not lose points in this round, as Spam could then fall further behind, but he's also on a good run. Not the best entry. I think he had to readjust a little bit, but he's still quite far ahead of Elkan, who's on third position right now. Auris is completely out of that conversation. So Stufts will win this round. Spam will get second, even though he has a bit more speed than Stufts coming to the identity, but he was also able to save it there. So there you go, only catching up 1,000. And Stufts wins the round with a 59.279. And if you wonder, there's also a safe finish to the right.
Auris finish, okay.
Yeah.
Because if you do not finish, you get a minus 15 instead. So he did a bit of a tomfoolery there at the end.
Down to 13 points.
Yeah, only 13 points. So if Auris basically can potentially enter the last chance already in the next 2 rounds. Hopefully that does not happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully he put up a fight. At the same time, if he just does a full 180 now, it's still possible for him to maintain the points and still be the one with the points at the very end of the event.
Yeah, he has to replicate Elkan's performance on map 1, but right now it did look like a very shaky start. Also there, entering the dirt a bit too aggressive, I would say, and had to readjust. So he falls behind only by 0.1 of a sec, but this still cost him a lot of time. And also here, had to readjust. Good entry to the ice slide, but also he had to release. And Elkan sliding out, losing the gear, and Auris catching up. Oh my god, so close there to the wall, playing with his tournament life right now, but he still made it to the final. So very good performance from Auris. And as you said, SRK, you did not really expect to see a Lithuanian in this final.
Yeah, so the fact that even they made it is already a very good showing, considering the caliber of players that played at this event. So a small mistake there from Auris, but let's see what happens at the top 3. 2 Dutchies currently, the new and the old generation. Spam has a way more speed, going closer. Stufts in the end does snack the inside line and does prevent the points loss on his side. Spam only gets the -4 instead. Okay-ish round times, I would say, even from Elkan, but considering Elkan had that incident at the start, if you keep in mind, he actually caught up to, just a small recorrection.
Yeah.
He caught up only with the 0.2 gap at the very end.
Yeah, so the ice is really hard to do, so great job there from Elkan. Like, just keeping up with the players, but look at that. Spam and Stufts tied on their points, 54 respectively for them. Auris down to 3 points, so he needs a first position. LC is down to the last chance mode as Spam gets a really good start. Elkan overtakes Auris, who didn't get the best turn in that very tight section. They need to go full speed, so maybe he released the accelerator for a little bit. But that ice head approach looks really good here from Auris, but release maybe a bit too early there, and also slides out. That is a slide out here that happened because your car is still influenced by the ice from beforehand. And we see a good fight for first between Elkan, Stufts and Spam. Let's Let's approach the last section of the map as Elcon gets it really well here yet again. 0.1 of a second he's ahead of Spam and Stufts. Good entry from all players. So Elcon going insanely close here to the wall to maximize the speed outcome. And now the ending will decide that Stufts with good speed. Elcon still in the lead. Who's gonna get second place? Elcon in first, and it will be Stufts. So close to the wall. 300s away from Elcon on second. Spam also with that -7 will drop down to third position. So the new generation is showing the 2012 World Champion how it's going.
And now Auris now enters his last chance. So basically, Auris is still in, as long as he doesn't get last place in any of the rounds. So as long as he can just be top 3 for now, he can still be in the event and pressure the other players at the same time. It's not going to be that easy. We're going to be going now on Shade Shift, which is the speed techie map of the map pool. So currently now entering it, Elcon is currently leading at 90 points, Stufts at 50, Spam is very, very close to both Dutchies as well. An important thing to note here is that based off the tournament results, Stufts, Spam, and Elcon are the 3 fastest players on this map. So Auris, even just to hold on for a single round, is going to be really, really hard for him to keep in mind because he's only 9th place so far in terms of tournament performance so far. So overall, I just want to say that Auris had an insane showing, considering that last year the level was a bit lower compared to this year. And the fact that he managed to climb this time in the final is a really amazing showing for him.
Also, Auris played together with Zyron in the last chance qualifier where they got
in the World Championship, yeah.
The World Championship. They also had a very good showing there. So good. I think they're very motivated, and just making it to the grand final is very good. So happy about that. So let's jump into the first round here. After this warm-up, we see Spam with a .50 that he actually set in the last match and the lower bracket final. So let's see. Elcon still with 90 points. And let's see how this will go as we see the first mistake, and it is already falling behind. Also, one thing that happened during the other match, it was actually Bit pressing the save replay button. So that's why his input was frozen and he could not do anything. So maybe a little bit of lore there.
Yeah, there was actually a pause offered for him to pause the match, but he said, no, it's fine, and they just kept the match like that. So that was happening in the previous match. That's why there was a bit of an anticlimactic end. But in the meanwhile, Auris actually surviving. Spam has now a pretty large mistake. Same with Elcon is very, very close. So Auris can potentially still hold on in this round to stay in this tournament. But he needs to contain that, at least top 3 placement for quite a bit of rounds. But at least this one is that hopefully they can start off such a chain.
Yeah, so Stufts on a great time as well. I mean, these .4 had Elcon so close to the wall. And I mean, that's the beauty, but also the scary part of this reverse cup mode. Because once one player makes a mistake, you know, it's you just save. You can't save the round. And 5 seconds to lose is very hard. So there you go. And yeah, good copy pasta there, Twitch chat. Keep up the focus. I also see Keycam type 1. Yeah. So we got you guys, we got you. So keep up the good focus. Also thank you everyone for watching, of course, at home. And also here at the venue. Guys, we go into the last couple of rounds here of this grand final from the ComicCon 2023 grand final in Trackmania.
Yeah, so far Spam's a lot of like minor mistakes at early on. So it gives like Spam is the only person with no micro mistake early on. Elcon immediately catches up because Spam had to release at that point. So immediately he joins the bunch so far. Auris trying to fight to prevent being the last in this round. He's not too far away, but he needs to push for a tiny bit. Attacks from the inside line. We have seen so many airtimes happening at that point. Now potentially trying to challenge Spam. 40 plays a bit of an oversteer, loses a bit of exit speed, immediately falls down to 4th, but it's very close still either way. A bit of an outside right, so have to oversteer here. Won't have the best exit speed, so very close between him and 3rd place so far. Elcon and Stufts currently fighting, who will keep the points. In the meanwhile, Auris is fighting for his tournament life. Way too outside of a line, tries to attack from the inside. And with that, Auris will be securing 4th place into the event. Very solid performance, honestly, considering he got a good running. So we really appreciate the applause from audience for him making such a deep run into the event.
Yeah, the level was insane here. Already in the first round of the loser bracket, we have seen great times. So very good performance from Auris, already making it into the grand final. So he's eliminated, and with that, we also have a different point repartition that comes into play with 3 players left. The first position will lose 2 points, the second place will lose 6 points, and the last place will lose 9 points when he crosses the finish line. All right, let's jump into the next round. Stufts has 46 points, is quite far ahead of Spam, because 16 points is quite a bit. in this tournament, or in this kind of format, but he can lose it in just 2 rounds as Elcon continues his journey here.
What
But
was that?
yeah, he does continue his journey because he wants to revisit that part again by having to press the respawn button. And it's between the duchies, Stuft and Spam. Very important for Spam to only get -2 in this round. Good line from him, has so much more speed than Stuft here. Has to oversteer the plastic, but gets a very good entry into the turn. So we go into the last sector of the map, this drift. Stuft is quite far ahead, make it 0.1 of a second. And he will win this round here unless he butchers the ending. But nope, that is not the case. Stuft on first, Spam on second, even though he had a good ending section. And Elcon, after that respawn, on third. And also look at that time, at 0.58 is pretty fast.
Respectable. That's very, very respectable. So now you literally have the 3 best players on this map are still left here for the 2 more rounds. So let's see who'll manage to secure the points right now. There's pretty noticeable gaps. There's a 20 and 30 points gap so far. Elcon is definitely starting to reduce his points a bit more often compared to first early maps, but at the same time, Spammy has fallen down in the rankings. Actually, Stuft was, as soon as the World Championship middle stage did end, so he was immediately starting, play these maps a bit more. Definitely during the last few days, he's gotten definitely more into groove of things, and so have a very solid lower bracket run because there were way higher contenders were expected.
Jinx,
Typical,
Classic.
Classic.
That is classic. But also Spam, the winner of the seeding, if you remember that correctly from yesterday, also did a lot of preparation on stream. Had a little bit of a question mark for Elcon, but at the end, it's Elcon, and he has shown that. So very good performance from the Czech player, and he's 30 points ahead of Stuft and also overtakes Spam in this round. Very important, 10 or 92 points for Spam to get, but Elcon with so much more speed, and he will win that round with a very good ending. So it is Spam still coming closer, but look at that time as well of 0.35. It is Spam setting. Yeah, guys, that is the YouTube 2 world records in 1 round again. Yeah, there you go. Elcon with first position. 0.35, which is a new tournament record.
Yeah, what was the time attack record, if you can remind?
Was a 0.44.
0.44, so that's not only a tournament record, but that's also a time attack record. Okay, the guy really knows how to cook in that sense. So let's see how it will go for the next round. Elcon with that round also securing his points, now punishes both duchies, now with a bit more points loss. Now with that, Elcon is a pretty solid lead. Spam is 18 points away from entering the last chance. Stuft in meanwhile 35s. Now Spam really needs to pressure the rest of the players for now.
Look at that start.
He's trying to very solid start so far. Currently that pressure is being brought up. However, Stuft and Elcon starting to close in a bit more into the playing field. It's a bit of a recorrection there from Stuft. Got a bit more extra spin compared to Elcon. Good line there from Spam. Really tries to bend too much outside, trying to keep the momentum. So let's see if he can keep it for the end. Bit of oversteer there. Doesn't get that good of an exit speed there. Stuft and Elcon going for the overtake. Spam doesn't have the best speed. Let's see what happens at the very end. All players have a very similar setups. Doesn't have a bit too much outside of a recorrection from Stan.
More speed, right?
Stuft's bit more speed, but we'll see. And it's going to be still Elcon. Very solid round for everyone. Elcon does get a 0.0. Gaming. What else to say? Properly playing the game.
Yeah, 0.50 there.
Very good round there, considering that he had a pretty noticeable 0.2 disadvantage at the start of the round as well.
Yeah, and also Spam, one bad line snowballed so much, and he lost 9 points with that. So it is an oh no moment here for Spam, because he's at 9 points. Elcon still at 70 points. It feels like he does not lose any points. And I have good news for Elcon as well. We're gonna go to his pick. First map is coming into play again. Let's see, we'll have a moment here on this one as we have Kisa's map going into round number 2 with 5 more rounds. We could see, we're gonna see this map for the last time, but this could also theoretically be the last map of this tournament.
Yeah, Elcon definitely serving a very solid performance. Very similar pattern actually happened with his upper final, but now it's definitely elevated to a new level. Where in the previous match, he also mentioned that in the middle stage of the, in the middle part of the match, he was getting a bit nervous, and we saw a couple of mistakes happening in the same case.
Yeah.
And it's also the fact that the advantage that came into the grand final from the upper seed was that you can select which will be the first map, which is also the first map that's being rotated, so you can just punish more rest of the players at the start of the grand final.
Yeah, and let's see, will Spam be able to perform? If he gets first and second, he will be at 8. He will lose 8 points, so he will be at 1 point. That is the dream scenario. I mean, winning 5 rounds in a row would of course be the best, but against someone like Elcon, who has beaten the world record 3 times, last time we have seen it, it will be almost impossible. But let's go into the first round here and see if he can make it happen. Because I think the battle for first is almost decided, but it's too early to tell, of course, as Stufz gets a very good start here. Finding himself in the lead, also will get a lot of speed due to his wide line, but now the drift comes into play. It is the second most important drift on this map. Everyone gets it really well. Stufz still in the lead, Elcon behind, and Spam should avoid last position with any cost.
So let's see what happens here now. Both Dutchies at the same, very similar purpose, but this was the decisive part on this map, how much extra speed you can hold after that pull. And Elcon has a tiny bit more, bit of the overcorrection from Spam, loses tiny bit momentum as well.
Oh, what a good line from Spam!
And Spam now goes into the lead, so he really needs to protect the points, because if he gets last place, he immediately sets into last chance. So now jumping into first place, even overtaking his competitor. However, Stufz is pushing. You'll see who gets the best
good line from
setup.
Spam!
Stufz
It's
is
so
a low
close,
jump,
it's a
and
snipe.
Stufz overtakes Spam in the end.
And the emotions.
And he gets the -6 with that overtake as well. He had a very solid ending, but Stufz really pushed it when it needed and got to keep his extra 4 points with that.
Yeah, 27 points here for Stufz still. 3 last positions and a lot of rounds to having, like, to spare with compared to Spam. But he's definitely not on that one just yet, because if he wins the round, he will not be in that last chance mode. So let's focus on the second round. Elcon with a great start, finding himself in the lead. The world record holder, who's 0.4 ahead of second place. That is insane. But also Elcon was already unmatched on this map, the qualifier. But, well, there you go. Elcon with a mistake.
Yeah.
So it is Spam and Stufz fighting up, but also Spam now with the best line there. And he could see himself in that last chance mode in the next round. Stufz long gone, 1 second ahead. And also Elcon here with a double respawn. But I think he will be able to finish. But still, he loses a lot of points in the last couple of rounds. Got -9 in the previous round, and also now will get -9 points deducted from his 61, as the gaps are quite big. It is Stufz who has to just make the ending clean, and then he will get first and will knock Spam down into the last
0.4
chance
as
mode.
well, not
Yeah,
too
that's a good
shabby
time.
of a time as well. I believe it was very, very close to his match PB as well. So he's definitely, Stufz is starting to, let's just say, step up his pace during the event as well. At the same time, very unfortunate situation there from Spam, considering he is the second best player out of these 3 on this specific map, and now Spam enters the final last chance. So if Spam does get last place in any of the rounds from now, he'll be securing 3rd place into the tournament.
Yeah, and then also Stufz can redeem himself with hardly any practice. Reminds me a bit of the Granadi story from XP Evo, because Granadi played 1 week before that, or like a couple of weeks before, and maybe 1 or 2, he played the Ascension final and also had only 1 week of practice, and then lost the final against Otak. So Stufz could replicate that performance here, and look at that start here from Spam. Spam does not want to go out, and I mean Elcon struggling quite a bit after his very, very good first rotation on this map. He's now behind yet again. Half a second it is for Elcon. Spam with a good line, and he could also just steal some points from Stufz, or just adding up some points, or just
Elcon is
reducing some
closing
points. But
in.
Elcon is closing in, Spam now with a good line, and we can also only go into 2 players. But Stufz hitting the checkpoint, and he's definitely out on this round and will get -9 points. So Spam just fueling up some momentum. Elcon will win the round, even though he had not the best start, with maybe like a 1 minute time. Okay, 59.7, had a really good ending, and Spam still in there. Stufz throwing for skins, and he's down to 16 points.
Yeah, the -9 for Stufz as well, considering if there is a scenario where Spam does get eliminated in this upcoming rounds, it goes into a 1v1 between then, the top 2 players, and Elcon currently is in a pretty noticeable advantage regarding that. So let's see if maybe Spam can still hold on his positions. He just needs to keep the top 2s rolling until another player is eliminated. So let's see what can happen. Stufz now with an early clip, try to risk for the low jump, got immediately pushed to the side. So Spam, unless something silly happens, he can still hold on the position. At the same time, Elcon trying to be in the top leading position, just to, you know, not lose that much. But at the same time, Stufz thankfully could recover way, way better than compared to other players that happened to have a mistake at that part. And there's only 1.57 or shaky approach from Elcon.
Almost the
also
balance.
Spam as well. And none of them did get really that good. So all of them very, very, you know, getting a bit shaky in the way how they play it. Will we see a clip happening? A bit of a slowdown actually coming here from Spam, so had to recorrect the line a bit. Elkan is cooking something here. Let's see what can that be, but in the meanwhile in the back, Stufts is trying to catch up. Let's see what Elkan can do. At the same time, let's keep up with the time. So it's going to be a 59-3. Spam had the mistake, and Spam will be eliminated in the end. And yeah, that's going to be one way how to go out with that.
Look, have you seen Stufts like chatting and then just smiling to Spam like, yeah, I'm ahead. So unfortunately, it is Spam being eliminated there. And he already did a mistake on this map in the match versus Wizzy. I think that was in round 1, if I recall it correctly.
Yeah.
And well, there you go. Let's go on into the next round because we have Stufts and Elkon still fighting it out here for that first position. Elkon with a very good start, and also now the point repartition is different. It's -4 for first and -8 for second position.
So it's now the final 1v1 between Elkan, who managed to rack up the nice points lead during the rest of the match, which is an advantage in this specific situation. Stutz, the main thing he needs to just beat it, just hold on the points as much as he can to prevent himself for as many rounds as possible to avoid the final chance, at the same time pressuring Elkan. Elkan needs to take at least 6 round losses in a row for that to happen, with a bit of breathing room for Stufts early on. Stufts with an early mistake doesn't get the best landing there. Elkan still trying to have a pretty nice, drive till the end of the finish in the meanwhile. So we haven't seen any silly mistakes from Elkan so far at the end. I don't think there was nothing at 8 minutes or 0.1.
Yeah, it's 0.3 away from the world record. It's nothing special anymore.
Yeah, it's nothing special.
Yeah.
He's just
For
0.1
Elkan.
faster than like the second best player on this map, which is Evan, who
Still
also...
0.3 slower than his PB, so that's what you have to consider, yeah? No, jokes aside, insane time there from Elkon, and it is Stufts. 2 points left, but still a great performance. Has already beaten Spam in this match, and now he's battling out for that first position. But Elkon, after a very good start into the match, finding himself so far ahead, and he still has 46 points left on his account. As we go to map number 2 again, 44, I mean, of course, because you lose 4 points instead of 2 in this new repartition. And let's go to Color Burst from Ellipse.
Yeah, so now Stutz will have a really, really tough challenge now. He has 1 round of breathing room, realistically, where he can get let's just say, start to push Elkon a bit, try to force out some mistakes from Elkon's side as well, as much as he can, because there can be some, let's just say, interesting situations if the match does continue on like the way how it is. But so Stufts, the main thing now is just trying to get those as many rounds wins as he can, because in next round he'll be entering last chance, and it's very important for him to start off this mental momentum for the rest of the match, because now okay, let's not do caster math moment here. So Elkon is at 44 points, okay?
Yeah.
So the second place gets -8, okay?
Yeah.
So that means Elkon needs to be last for
36.
six rounds.
Very good.
Yeah, 6 rounds. Okay.
You're correct. So this would already be then map number 3. So let's go. This could be it. We could be over in 2 rounds, but it could also take 7 rounds here if we jump into
Stufts
decisive
needs to be
last
basically 6 rounds in a row, which is doable. He has first round, there's a bit of breathing room where he's not going to be that punished.
This also doesn't matter because also Elkon is not starting a new column where he will like only have 5 rounds left in that way, or 4 rounds. So this round is only there to gain some momentum and also for us to take a little bit of a breather after a very hectic start into the match. An insane pace from Elkon. He can redeem himself and win the ComicCon Baltic 2023 Trackmania tournament, sponsored by Dell Secret Lab and also Covenant.
Yeah, of course. I really like the noodles that we had at the
teriyaki ones were great yesterday.
I still prefer the beef ones personally.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, but it is Stufts leading actually, so he can gain some momentum. We have also seen Oris setting a time. You set a 0.5 just before the match, so also a shout out to that time here from Oris, of course. But it is Stufts leading. No one making a mistake. Elkon with good speed in the end, and it seems like he will not come close because he has to oversteer. And there you go. This could be the last round that comes into play. If Stufts gets second, this match is over.
All right, this is where the match really starts.
Yeah.
Stufts can't...
Look how focused he is.
Stufts from now can't afford to lose a single round, else he will be secured into the second place. Elkon now gets the advantage from having a very solid grand final being played, especially in the early game. So let's see what happens now. There needs to be mistakes happening from Elkon. Stufts had a very solid round, but Stufts has a massive uphill battle, both the points-wise and the fact that Elkon is the best on his map. So far, 0.15 advantage to Elcon at the start of the match. We have seen Elcon trying to get a bit of airtimes, over forcing some lines as well. Stifts is starting to bit close in the gaps. Elcon actually doesn't go for his line as well because he didn't get as much exit speed compared to other parts. But in the meanwhile, Stifts is closing in. 0.1 difference so far. Bit of recorrection from the lines as well. Right now, Stifts is pushing it, so this might be the situation.
Oh, it's Stilts with a mistake! This is over. It is over. Elcon will win the tournament, guys. Elcon will take it, and there you go. We have a ComicCon 2023 champion. Elcon with such a great performance. What a deserved victory. Setting a new world record and also driving a .69 in the end.
Yeah,
a nice way to end it off. But also a great performance from Stifts, defeating Spam and also Auris getting that 4th position. GG's to Elcon. And you can also see the sportsmanship that always happens in Trackmania. Everyone is super friendly to each other. And well, great performance from Elcon. And let's move on and deliver Elcon the trophy.
All right, here we are meeting with the winner from the Trackmania ComicCon Baltics Trackmania tournament. Elcon, we already had a small meeting with you like a couple of matches ago, right? So right now, you had a pretty solid start on the match, and in the end, upper bracket as well, you said a bit of nerves. How did it feel to actually did take the win at the very end?
I feel relieved. My heart rate at the end was like overwhelming. Just so many emotions. For the first time on a stage like this, first LAN victory, I'm really happy that I was able to manage to win this thing and names.
Yeah, I can see that you're very, very nervous still, still hands are shaking. But even with the points lead that you managed to adapt from the start of the match, and how did it feel that it's okay, I can maybe actually do this, Toots? It goes on your maps, Toots is going on last chance. How did it feel that, oh man, I'm actually gonna do this and take this win?
Yeah, I got a lot of confidence boost at the start with my map pick, which went really absolutely well for me. So I get a lot of confidence from that, and I just pulled through. Even on my worst maps, I still managed to keep the lead and not fall behind. So I'm very proud of my performance, I would say, today. I don't have any...
So with this LAN win, we have know that you had some really solid third-party event performances. What does it mean to you? What could be now the next steps in your Trackmania career after this?
Well, I will look to compete more and more. Maybe even visit some other lands, if there are going to be some. But yeah, I'm definitely not quitting competitive Trackmania, so I'll be here for a while, I guess.
Would be nice if you could kind of hear. So these will be some of the prizes we did have for the event. So we also have prize money for the players. Additionally, there is also a trophy for the players. So it would be nice if we can Elcon come here. Would be nice if Kai can present him to the tournament. And once again, can we please have a nice round of applause for once again for Elcon for winning the Trackmania tournament today.
Fourth, third, and second as well.
Thank you everyone who also took part in the event, in the online qualifiers, also in-person event as well, at the booth as well. Also everyone who's watched either online or in-person in the audience as well. Also people who did check out the booth, tried out Trackmania as well. Hope you enjoy it. And with one thing I want to mention, that Trackmania will be returning to ComicCon also next year.
line from Spam can maybe overtake it. That's a great round, but it's not enough. Forever will have a bit more speed and a better entry here. Wow! Oh, it's so close. Wizzy oversteering Forever with a bit more speed, but it's not enough. Wizzy lives another day, so not too far behind. Spam is still a bit further ahead. Evon with not the best entry. Spam as well. We see 2 mistakes. Wizzy's capitalizing from that and Stuft. Evon can deny some points to Spam, who goes for the attack. Good line from Spam. Evon has more speed. Who's gonna get it? It will be so close. It is Evon. Spam.
Will maintain the gear. It's very close back. Bits is having a very solid line.
Bits with a good line. Spam as well.
Is gonna be key. Spam.
But here or not, Ashley doesn't believe Bits is on second, Spam is on third. But I do think that nothing will happen. But look at the speed from Key. Can overtake, and he will do so. Pause champ in the chat. Let's see what Elcon can do. One more jump to go. 57, 58, and we have another new world record. It is over. Elcon will win the tournament, guys. Elcon will take it, and there you go. We have a ComicCon 2023 champion.